Now, this clear sunny skies look to continue for several days into the weekend, but we're already tracking a major storm system headed this way. The high pressure will start to move away this weekend, and by Sunday night into Monday, the showers and cooler weather will be back across the region. Simply put, make sure you go out and enjoy the next few days. They won't last. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Max Muscle Sports Nutrition is more than a nutrition store. Tom here at Max Muscle. If you want to make changes to your overall health, lose weight, build muscle, or if you just want to feel better, stop by, talk to a certified nutritionist. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Northwest Burger inside the 5th Street Market features burgers so amazing they're an experience all their own. Freshly ground meat and local produce combined with the creativity of local chef Garrett Kirsch makes for a burger experience like no other. You'll get mouth-watering goodness in every single bite. Check out their menu and photos on Facebook. Northwest Burger, located in the 5th Street Market. It's not just a burger, it's an experience.
They say I'm a bad kid.
A charity case. A troublemaker.
Worthless.
There are more than 3 million children in America's child protection and justice systems. Kids who have been abused, neglected, traumatized. Kids who act out. Kids facing the worst situations you can imagine.
They say I'm messed up.
A drain on society.
Just a stupid mistake.
For their safety and others, some of these children have to be removed from their homes. Separated from their families, they're at the mercy of an overwhelmed system.
I don't think I'm a lost cause.
I'm just a kid.
Youth Villages believes that no child is a lost cause, not a single one, because a stable, loving family can help any child succeed. And we have an 80% success rate overall that proves doing whatever it takes for children is the only thing that works. If you agree, find out how you can help at youthvillages.org.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm 1 out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. ADP's count of private payroll growth shows companies took on 200,000 workers in March. The increase in employment followed a downward revision to February's payrolls to 205,000. Persistent hiring will be critical in sparking bigger gains in the household spending that makes up the bulk of the U.S. economy. This coming Friday, Labor Department data may show private payrolls rose by almost 200,000 in March. Shares of Lululemon are up about 6% in pre-market trading. The yoga wear retailer reported fourth quarter profit that exceeded analyst estimates after improvements to the company's supply chain cut costs. U.S. stock index futures are rising, indicating the S&P 500 will continue to add to gains. Yesterday, the index hit its highest level of the year, posting the strongest increases in 2 weeks. Fed Chair Janet Yellen signaled that officials would be cautious in raising interest rates. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and give you advanced warning. Because a lot of times we're talking about it kind of during mid-sunrise or like after the fact. This might potentially be one of those where you can actually kind of get into your seats, get your popcorn popped, your warm chamomile tea or whatever you drink, and get in position. That means in 7 to 12 minutes, the photos will be coming in from our Wake Up Call photo staff out there covering said sunrise. I mean, if you're driving down 5 or up it, that's just got to be almost distracting. But we have brilliance to the east. And it's going to be around sunshine. What a beautiful day yesterday. Just what else can you say? Gorgeous today as well. And as we get closer to the weekend, it warms up so that we're talking about 70 starting tomorrow. Today, almost. We'll call it 68 degrees.
We're sitting here staring out the window like puppies.
Makes for great radio, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Speaking of puppies, we had
anytime you can, you know what?
Yesterday was pretty darn cute.
Anytime you can play classical music on an AM station at 6:30 in the morning, I say it's worth it. Because I guarantee you there is no other AM station on the planet playing classical music.
Except perhaps a classical station.
There are no classical stations on AM.
Maybe a hybrid. They might have like a 2 or 3 hour show on Sunday nights. There might be. All right.
I don't know.
Coming up, we're going to talk with, by the way, and we'll plant this, Lease Wheel in the 7 o'clock hour. And also Commissioner Jay Bozovich.
Yep, we'll be talking about a number of issues. If you have a question you want to ask Jay Bozovich, and he is your county commissioner, by the way. Doesn't make any difference what it is. Feel free to email us, 1120kpnw@gmail.com. That's 1120kpnw@gmail.com.
KPNW, do you have a question for Jay or for Lise today?
No, I just have a point to point out of the brilliance in the east. There's nothing brilliant to the east. Washington, D.C. is to the east. There's nothing brilliant there.
Okay, if you get past that particular landmark, you have to go past there. Once you get past there, then you get to the brilliance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you never know.
Yeah, you have to. Once you get past there and literally off planet, then you get into the brilliance.
True.
All right.
But I had a point to make there, so.
No, and point well made. Point well made.
Okay, well, you guys enjoy yourself.
Okay. Will do.
What was his comment? I couldn't understand it. My headset's are
he said there is no brilliance to the east. Washington, D.C. is there. As in the capital of the nation.
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. Good.
So nothing,
well, I can tell by the look on your face that
there's a lot of things to the east. I'm okay. By the way, did you hear the story about the guy who took the selfie? The British guy? Well, it's not a selfie.
A selfie with the
took a photo
hijacker.
with the hijacker.
Yeah.
Who had I like how somebody, an Egyptian official said, he's not a terrorist, he's an idiot, because the vest that he had was fake. I mean, he was essentially doing all of this, which, I mean, when it comes down to prosecution.
Well, can't you be both? Can't you be both a terrorist and an idiot? Look at Muhammad.
Yeah, but he is not the terrorist. He's just an idiot.
I would say he's an idiot and a terrorist.
The gentleman, 26-year-old Ben from Leeds, England, was a passenger on the flight and thought, you know what? If I'm going down, what good? I mean, what does it matter? If not, I get a photo. And I thought this kind of goes in line with when I was very young and used to walk in some pretty
nasty neighborhoods.
We'll just say it was. I was a little bit concerned walking at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I remember a couple of times I would actually out loud verbalize my affinity for criminals and bad people, thinking that if they heard me say that, they'd go, well, he's a fan.
What were you saying? Oh, boy, I sure like felons. Felons are awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure I had that.
Maybe someday I'll
vocabulary
grow
at
up to
that
be
time.
one as well.
But, I mean, something to that effect. I think this kind of goes in that line where, if you are going to kind of make this guy feel good and like you're like a fan of what he does, maybe that will make him, I don't know. I mean, when you get somebody who's kind of off kilt, it's hard to rationalize, but it was worth a try.
Yeah, okay. I just, yeah, all right. I guess I sort of see what you're saying. I just like the idea that you're just walking through neighborhoods going, God, I love crime. Crime is awesome. Hello, felons. I'm a supporter.
Well, I mean, you're out of touch with somebody that age. I'm sure I didn't say felons. But
what did you say? Bad people? Evildoers?
Who knows?
Villains? Burglars?
And what was, did you hear the story in Florida where the guy apparently got into an argument with his wife?
Oh, gee.
There had been
There's a news story. That never happens. Go ahead.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You ready for the rest of the story?
Sure.
Here's where the news story comes in. She, for whatever reason, climbed on the roof, and he drove 6 miles with her on the roof. And apparently was so drunk or upset that I'm sure he ignored I'm sure she was up there trying to make herself known. Finally, he gets pulled over.
Was she hanging on to like a luggage rack or something?
Yeah, something to that effect.
Oh, okay.
And as
like that makes it better.
He drove by the cop, who I'm thinking that's going to get some attention. The wife on top got pulled over and arrested for drunk driving. Let's keep everybody in the car. And how about let's just kind of wait it out and maybe get a cab home or go to a hotel. Maybe have separate beds for the night.
I would like to know what she was screaming. Because sitting on top of the vehicle, if she's pounding on it, she's also probably there's words. There's words being spoken there. One would assume. I just can't imagine she'd just be sitting there silently pounding.
It was a Toyota Sequoia too, so we're talking about a big car. So maybe a big SUV.
Right. So she had to be yelling to be heard.
Yeah, and hitting hard. 6 miles.
So if they stay married,
yeah.
Which at this point I would say is not necessarily a sure proposition, if they do stay married, this is going to be one of those stories that gets told at Thanksgiving. Hey, do you remember the time that...
He's 69, she's 50. So maybe, that's 20 more years, maybe he's in radio and has no hearing whatsoever.
Could be.
You just never know.
Didn't know she was up there.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's up there. Right. She's only 50. All right, coming up, we're going to talk technology in the 2016 political environment with William Mapp. He's a CEO, and he's going to be on the Wake Up Call next.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you're self-employed and have not yet claimed your free trial of the money-saving software from QuickBooks Self-Employed, it's not too late. Our mission is to get this automatic mileage tracking and deduction maximizing software into the hands of every self-employed person in America as quickly as possible. That's why we're giving away these absolutely free trials. To get yours, text Trial 10 to 67076.
It automatically tracks my trips and records my deductions so I can keep more of the money I make.
It's awesome. It gives me back my freedom, really.
QuickBooks Self-Employed is designed to help self-employed Americans keep more money in their pocket. And it's working. On average, subscribers identify $18,217 in potential annual deductions. And it's so easy, anyone can use it. If you haven't claimed your free trial yet, it's not too late. Text TRIAL10 to 67076. But hurry while we're still giving trials away for free. Again, text TRIAL10 to 67076. That's TRIAL10 to 67076.
Ladies, mark your calendars for May 26th. Enjoy an evening of fun, fashion, and friends at the Head to Toe Women's Expo, brought to you by the Corvallis Clinic. Unwind, shop, and learn from a variety of featured boutiques, home goods shops, healthcare centers, and local businesses. Get free health tips and screenings in the Corvallis Clinic Corner. The Head to Toe Women's Expo, May 26th at the OSU Alumni Center. Sponsored by the Laura Gillot Home Team with Keller Williams Mid-Willamette, Samaritan Plastic Surgery Clinic, OSU Alumni Center, and this station.
In partnership with Food for Lane County, St. Vincent de Paul distributes more than 15,000 food boxes each year, making us the area's largest distributor of food to our neighbors in need. So when we say at St. Vincent de Paul you can have some fun, save some money, and do something nice for your neighbors, we really mean it. St. Vincent de Paul, serving Lane County since 1954. St. Vincent de Paul, we're in the phone book.
This message is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul in association with Eugene area radio stations. Ears.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, or you're already out and about, we do have a little bit of patchy dense fog off and on out there. Otherwise, mostly clear skies, and it is chilly. Temps are in the low to mid-30s out there. Light winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. This afternoon, the high pressure will continue to dominate across the region. That means once the fog burns off by about 11 a.m., clear skies and smooth sailing. Temps will be about 8 degrees warmer today, reaching the upper 60s to even a few low 70s out there. Winds will shift north at 5 to 10, but the sunny weather looks to continue throughout most of the week. We are tracking a major storm system, though, set to move in late Sunday night into early next week, bringing the showers and the clouds back, as well as much cooler high temperatures. So right now, go out and enjoy it. It won't last forever. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day full of sunshine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Good morning. It is 6:42. Well, I think it was Ron Paul's very first run when really social media and the internet and the ability to reach out on the internet and social media independently from, say, the networks and traditional media really started to gain hold. And there's no doubt about it that the social media has played a pretty important role in subsequent elections, not only on a national level, but also on a local level. But there's also sometimes a bit of a downside. To talk about it this morning, he is the CEO of Studio Codeworks, Inc., William Mapp, joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. William, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
All right, so let's just roll right into this. I mean, I don't think there's going to be much of an argument that social media has, at least in some ways, changed the way that candidates campaign for office and has allowed them at least more autonomy than they had before dealing with the filters of the various media, right?
Absolutely. So the social media allows the candidates to connect directly with voters. They can, as you mentioned, just share things unfiltered. There's one candidate in particular that seems to have no filter, it seems. And also, it builds a network of influencers. Like the more that you post, the more people to reshare or retweet the things that you post, and so your network expands, and hopefully you can grow your followers and turn those into votes.
Has anybody done the actual number crunching to find out whether those, and I'm just going to say generally, those hits are turning into votes, or are essentially, when it gets down to social media, are they more preaching to the tribe, so to speak?
We haven't gotten really good numbers on that yet, but it is preaching to the tribe. So essentially, either one of these platforms, you're trying to actually promote and share your platform to your audience. And so you're going to go where your audience is. The Bernie Sanders campaign has really attracted the youth vote. And so, he's doing a lot of Twitter sharing. He's doing some Instagram sharing. And so Hillary Clinton is now trying to recraft her image. And so she's gone out now and is now sharing pictures of her high school yearbook. She's also sharing a lot of pictures of backstage photos and even a Spotify playlist. And so a lot of it is still, preaching to your own, choir in your own pulpit. But at the same time, you're hoping that your followers will bring in, their friends who may be on the fence or may be detractors into the fold.
Flip side of that, though, is that it also, in a lot of ways, opens them up for attacks that can be harder to control. Where, in other words, if you're attacked during a debate, you can respond pretty much right there. On Facebook or Twitter, etc., it becomes much harder.
Well, that's true. There's a rule, though, on the Internet, it's like Rule 67 or something like that, was that you don't respond to trolls. Mm-hmm. And so there is an expectation that you can't control what people say on the Internet. For instance, you're open up to all kinds of attacks on Twitter. Now, the thing is that you don't want to seem small by just going on the offensive to anyone who has, a beef with you or something to say. We've seen the downfall of that with the Colombian presidential election. I can't remember the candidate, but there was a kid on Twitter who was actually trolling him, and instead of being like the bigger, politician, he went all in and is now, having a tough time now. So there is this thing, called internet culture. Some candidates are better at it than others. Donald Trump obviously knows his audience very, very well. You just have to tread, carefully and know when to get into fights and when to avoid them.
Do you ever think there's going to be a time when the traditional media becomes really kind of secondary or maybe even tertiary to social media when it comes to running campaigns?
I don't think so. Even though the numbers look great, like for instance, Donald Trump has 7.3 million Twitter followers. Those numbers look great, but it doesn't mean that they're all in tune. People, especially for Twitter, there's 140 characters, so there's not a lot of content that's there. Plus, people are reading these things on the go. Their heads are down on their phone, they're walking, they're trying to check in at work really, really quickly. And so it's not something that you can always just consume and then, think about it and decide. So I do think that you're still going to get the meat or really the more higher value content on traditional media because you just have a larger platform and a larger medium to really think through an issue or a topic. That's my opinion.
Who do you think is using social media the best right now, and who is the worst at it?
So I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but I have to say it's Donald Trump. His campaign is a curiosity. I would take a social media marketing class if he gave it. He knows which channels to use. He knows the appropriate content to share on the appropriate channel, and he does it very well within time. His Twitter feed is always loaded, and you know that the Internet likes new and shiny things. His videos are decidedly lo-fi, meaning that they look like they're handheld, with a camera phone versus a slick, fully produced videos that you see the other campaigns make. So I think Donald Trump is running probably the most effective social media campaign. I think the campaign that could use some help in the major candidates right now is Hillary Clinton. It seems like, she's trying a lot of different things. Like I mentioned, that she now has a Spotify playlist. She's made some serious flubs on social media. There's the famous Bernie Sanders issue. Where were you, Bernie, when I was campaigning for health care reform? Well, the thing is that he actually retweeted back a picture of himself saying, I was standing right behind you. So it was a great, show that he had internet savvy. And so between the two, there's your big compare and contrast.
All right. Hey, William, I appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. You take care.
You too. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
All right. Studio Codeworks Incorporated CEO William Mapp on the Wake Up Call this morning. It is 6:50 News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Well, she's got a playlist.
She has a.
I'll check it out.
Spotify.
And if I like the music,
right?
Well, she's got votes.
Yeah. Hanson, Spice Girls.
You're not dogging my old school lunch on KDuck, are you?
No. Why
Okay.
do you
play those? Yes.
Oh, I was going to say you have a heavy rotation of Hanson.
I wouldn't
and
say
Spice
heavy,
Girls.
but it gets played occasionally.
All right.
Spice Girls, we actually get requests for.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see Hillary imagining herself as being one of the Spice Girls. Of the people that support her, and fine, everybody supports their particular candidate for whatever reasons that they have. But I have to ask, how does one look at her and say, oh, she's so sincere, when she is desperately, constantly trying to change whatever bad image that she thinks she has at the time? Okay, I need a Spotify playlist. You can almost see Hillary sitting down with campaign managers, or maybe not even sitting down with them, that you've got several campaign managers. Okay, so psychologically, what would it say to potential voters if they knew that Hillary was listening to Loretta Lynn? What? Or Conway Twitty. I mean, is that too old school? Does that make her look... no. Josh Grayson. It's got to be Josh Grayson. Okay, we're going to put a Josh Grayson tune in there. Okay, what else? What?
Like researched every artist and song.
Yeah, and then trying to figure out what demographic that's going to appeal to. I mean, you can almost... Can't you see that happening? That's her Spotify playlist? Oh, we're gonna try to make her look real and like she was young once. Let's put her graduation pictures up there so young people will go, hey, look, it's young Hill. Yeah, I'm voting for her. She was young once. I shake my head at it, and what part of what I shake my head at is not necessarily that she's doing that, because that just seems to be her method of operation. What surprises me is how many people buy into it. I mean, really, if it wasn't a political candidate and it wasn't Hillary, let's say it was Campbell's Soup, or say a type of automobile, based on the marketing of it, would you purchase it? Would you purchase that? Would you look at that and go, look at those commercials and go, well, wait a minute. Earlier it was this, now it's that. What is this stuff?
It's empowering songs. One of them is Fight Song from Rachel Platten, who's going to be at the Lane County Fair. Also the Gap Band, Outstanding. Kelly Clarkson, a song called Stronger. Katy Perry's Roar. Gym Class Heroes, The Fighter. Pharrell's Happy.
Yeah.
Positive, uplifting, motivating music.
You can see right there, just by that, because there is a theme, you know that it's put together by lackeys and minions
she might not have even seen the final list.
You know what would be funny?
They probably
Okay.
just slapped it up there, and she's like, well.
Politicians always get hit with this by some reporter or another during a campaign where they go, so, what do you think about the social unrest going on in Myanmar? And the president there, do you remember his name? And you know how they always do that. Every election, you're going to get one candidate that's going to get hit with one of those type of questions, and they're going to go, I don't even know where Myanmar is.
I have a playlist, though.
It would be interesting for some reporter to sit down with Hillary and go, so what part of the lyrics of the Katy Perry song really touch you? Any one of those songs. Just go, name your favorite lyric from that song. What's a verse that just really stands out to you as being the... What album was that from, Hill? Just to see if she could actually answer the question.
No, Pumpin' Blood. Not familiar with that song, and she probably isn't either. Lise and Jay coming up next hour, on the way to sunny and almost 70 degrees. Currently 40 at KPNW.
It's the grand opening celebration at Brad's Cartoons in Springfield. Today from 9 till 6. Specials include a JVC Bluetooth head unit for $138, 6-inch JVC speakers for $38 a pair. Get an extra $10 off these items at Brad's new location in Springfield. Grand opening savings at both Brad's Cartoons today. 7th and Blair, and now at 38th and Main in Springfield. Stay tuned.
And now for a message from Gerber Life Grow Up Plan. Attention parents and grandparents, do you want to help give your child a great financial head start in life? You can. For just pennies a day now, you can give them $10,000 in whole life insurance that doubles to $20,000 at no extra cost during age 18. Later on, regardless to their health or job, your child has a right to buy additional coverage at adult rates, providing total coverage of up to $100,000. The Grow Up Plan also builds cash value you can borrow from. Low childhood rates that lock in for the life of the policy, benefits that double, plus the right to add more. That's security and valuable protection from Gerber Life, a name known and respected for generations. Get started now. Call Gerber Life Grow Up Plan at 800-372-4043. That's 800-372-4043, or visit us at mygrowupplan.com. Remember, it costs you just pennies a day now. For free information or to sign up now, call 800-372-4043. Gerber Life Insurance Company, White Plains, New York 10605. Policy Form Series GPP 12. Policy Form ICC 12 GPP. The Grow Up Insurance policy contains terms which may affect the benefits provided. Please contact us for costs and details of coverage. Interest rates apply to any policy loans.
Tune in to Real Estate Today, weekdays at 5:30 p.m.
I'm Bob Nelson, co-host of Real Estate Today. Kurt Large and Evergreen Roofing is my go-to company if I need to understand a roofing system, how to maintain the roof, should it be replaced, and if it is to be replaced, what should be done. He is absolutely the expert's expert. Evergreen Roofing is my go-to company.
To find out more about Evergreen Roofing, just go to their website, evergreenroofing.com.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Coos Bay got FERC'd. FERC is the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, and it recently effectively killed a huge liquid natural gas export terminal that was to be located at Jordan Cove, failing to approve a connector pipeline to bring gas from a hub near Klamath Falls to the plant near Coos Bay. Without a pipeline to supply gas, the Jordan Cove terminal would be useless, so FERC didn't even bother to rule on the plant itself. The project would have been one of the biggest in Oregon history, bringing thousands of construction jobs for a few years and ultimately resulting in about 150 permanent positions in Coos Bay. Most of those would have been specialized jobs filled by newcomers, but they would have been a long-term boost to the economy nonetheless, as would the doubling of Coos County's assessed valuation and thus the property tax that could be collected. Here's the nugget. However, that was only one possible outcome, or sample path, as a statistician says. But it's not necessarily what would have happened, or even what was most likely. Jordan Cove started out not as an export terminal, but as one that would import liquid natural gas. 12 years later, the project is dead, but notwithstanding the disappointment in Coos Bay, it could have easily been worse. How and why? Soon. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are rising in early trading, building on yesterday's gains. Right now, the Dow is up 123 points, 17,755. The S&P 500 is up 12 points, or 0.6% at 2067, and reaching new highs for 2016. The Nasdaq is ahead 36 at 48.82. We're seeing crude oil rising this morning. It's up 3% at $39.43 a barrel. ADP's count of private payroll growth for March shows companies took on 200,000 workers. The increase in employment followed a downward revision to February's payrolls to 205,000. We get the government's employment report on Friday. And shares of Lululemon are up about 9.5%. The yoga wear retailer reported fourth quarter profit that exceeded analyst estimates as improvements to the company's supply chain cut costs. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Depend on us for breaking news from the local neighborhood to the global one. We are News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. An Easter prayer breakfast is going on at the White House.
Around the world, we have seen horrific acts of terrorism, most recently Brussels, as well as what happened in Pakistan.
President Obama moments ago offering his prayers to the victims and survivors of those attacks. The one in Brussels last week killed at least 35 people, and the one in Lahore, Pakistan killed 70 on Easter Sunday. Now to the race for the White House. They pledged last year to support whoever wins the Republican nomination, and things have changed.
If the nominee is somebody that I think is really hurting the country and dividing the country, I can't stand behind them.
John Kasich at a CNN Town Hall Forum. Ted Cruz also would not commit to supporting Donald Trump after their war of words over wives, and Trump says he might not back Cruz or Kasich either. This says the Wisconsin primaries in 6 days. Polls show it's a close race for Democrats, too. Fox's Jeff Manasso is live in Kenosha.
Dave, thousands of Bernie Sanders supporters are already in line here at Carthage College in Kenosha, set to feel the burn as Sanders tries to capitalize on 3 recent caucus wins with a primary victory here next Tuesday, in large part with the help of Wisconsin's younger voters.
I like that he's working for the little people rather than the big business.
We shouldn't allow just old white guys to decide what we're supposed. I mean, he is an old white guy, but he's fighting. He's actually fighting for us to have rights, and I think that's great.
And Sanders is locked in a virtual dead heat here with Hillary Clinton, who, by the way, heads to campaign in New York City today. Dave.
Jeff, now the man Egypt's foreign ministry says is an idiot, not a terrorist.
A court in Cyprus has ordered the Egyptian man who hijacked a plane to be held for 8 days. 59-year-old Saif Eden Mustafa admitted to hijacking the domestic Egypt air flight and ordering the pilot to divert it to Cyprus by threatening to blow it up with a fake explosives belt.
Fox's Jessica Gallagher. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
When it comes to windows, doors, and installation, Discount Windows has you covered.
Discount Windows has thousands of premium overstock windows on site and the lowest prices on stock windows, like Ply Gem vinyl windows and patio doors. Discount Windows ensures a quick turnaround on custom orders, too.
We provide professional, affordable installation.
Highway 99 in Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Discount Windows, we do windows,
doors,
and installation for less.
CCB 180018.
My biggest concern was my daughter's safety. I wasn't going to invite people over when I saw what their homes look like.
I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do.
We're in darkness, but there's always a little bit of light, and if people help, the light becomes greater.
Just walking into that house was the beginning of a different life.
Because of this house, I'm home.
You can change the lives of families in your community and around the world. Join us. Habitat. We build.
Remember all the worry about the stock market plunge to start 2016? Well, that's just a memory. The Dow's up for the year and rising again on Wall Street, where Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides is live.
Dave, that's absolutely right. In fact, we're at the highest levels of the year. The Dow's up 4 days in a row, and there's less concerns about when the rate hikes come after we heard from Janet Yellen, our Fed head, yesterday. Right now, the Dow's up 132 points, 17,765. The Nasdaq up 44. The S&P up 13. Boeing up 0.5%, saying it will cut more than 4,500 jobs. Apple, Cisco, Chevron, and J.P. Morgan, other winners on the Dow. Dave.
Thank you, Nicole. The price of oil is up more than $1 this morning, closer to $40 a barrel again as gas rises nearly a penny. AAA's national average for regular is at $2.05 a gallon. A little state trying to boost its economy makes a big mistake.
That's not Rhode Island, that's Reykjavik. That was the reaction on social media after the video designed to bring tourism to Rhode Island was posted to YouTube but later deleted. It features a skateboarder outside a glass building while the narrator says, "Imagine a place that feels like home but holds enough uniqueness that you're never bored." Problem is, the glass building is the Harpa Concert Hall in Iceland. A spokeswoman for the State Economic Development Agency confirming it's Harpa. She says a local editing firm was told to use only Rhode Island footage, but a mistake was made. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
The Warriors are still on pace for the best NBA season ever.
Curry with the steal. There's Curry. He stuffs.
Stephen Curry's dunk for 2 of his 26 points, leading defending champion Golden State past Washington on TNT. That's the Warriors' record-extending 54th straight home win. They're now 67-7, trying to break the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls record of 72 wins in a season. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Pass the finger sandwiches. 11:20 KPNW 7:05. Beautiful morning. Going to be pretty much that way. It's going to be beautiful all day. Talking about 68 for the high. Plenty of sunshine. And kind of being with us into the weekend, which is a good thing. 40 degrees, crisp, but bright on this Wednesday, March 30th. I just got a text from my mom, and she said that there's not enough frolic in our celebration. And she
really?
And she asked me to remind you that we need to, I guess, kind of pump it up a little bit because, 7th anniversary, we've been on the air 7 years, and so.
We need to pump up the jam.
Yeah. So could you do that?
Yeah, I'll get right on that. This is me getting right on that.
How about a song?
See, you should have given me a little warning. Because if you'd given me a little warning,
you would have come up with something.
If you'd have given me a little warning,
all right. So now
if you would have given me,
we're planting
warning,
the seed. 8 o'clock, 8:05. We'll be expecting something melodic.
If you would have given me just a little bit.
Okay, you're getting a time. You're getting an hour.
No, I'm getting
till 8:05. We'll be expecting.
You're not really giving me a whole lot here. You're not giving me much to work with. See, that's the thing.
When has that ever been not the case?
Oh, here we go.
What are you looking at?
All right. There, we have it now. Here, it's festive music. Right there. That right there is 7th anniversary music.
Is this a different jam?
No, that's the
same one.
Yeah, it's the same guy. Here we go.
Okay.
This, by the way, is the dance version.
The remix?
Yeah, this is the remix.
Is it on Hillary's playlist now? I didn't see it on there. But maybe I don't know his name. This could be No. Pumping Blood.
This is Trolololo.
That's what it's called?
Trolololo.
By who?
I can't remember the guy's name. Oddly enough, this was a hit like 4 or 5 times in the Soviet Union. I kid you not. This was, they have charts or had charts in the Soviet Union.
And when you say hit, was this like a #1 song?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It held the record for going to #1 the most times in the Soviet Union. See this right here, if can you imagine working in a radio station where this is on the rotation every hour and a half? Like where a hot song on KDUQ, you listen to KDUQ, you'll hear, one of the, what they call the A rotation. It'll be, the power, the A rotation. It'll be in there, it'll be playing every, hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, depending on the station. I mean, there were some stations that had a rotation of just an hour. So every hour you would hear
I feel sorry for somebody who's listened to the station never and is turning it on right now. Well, it's local radio station, morning show, and they hear that.
Yeah, and they're thinking, wow, that's festive.
Yeah.
They must be having some sort of celebration.
See? There's our party. All right. There's the frolic. Lee Wheel to continue the celebration, and Jay Bozovich. Jay Bozovich, we can always count on him for a little levity.
Yeah.
He'll be coming across shortly after that. And news, too. On News Radio 1120 KPNW, news time 7:09.
Burrito Amigos is a business rule breaker. In business courses, it's taught you can make a product cheap and fast, cheap and good, or good and fast, but you can't have it cheap, fast, and good. Burrito Amigos, therefore, is an outlier. You do get all three characteristics in any product at Burrito Amigos. How many burrito places can claim they put real, tender pieces of black Angus beef in their huge burritos and yet sell them for way under $10? And get them to you in just a couple of minutes. Take anything off the menu and it's the same. I'm a new convert to the Burrito Amigos shrimp burritos, and they're like something from what most people would consider to be a fancy sit-down restaurant. You've got to love a business that breaks the rule of three and then gives you friendly service as a bonus. That's one of the reasons why I'm one of Burrito Amigos' biggest fans. That, and they use 2 types of bacon in their bacon burritos. That's another business rule. You can't have it cheap, fast, and good with 2 types of bacon. Unless it's Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield. They could be burrito unicorns.
It's finally happened. The best real estate market in a decade. Low inventory coupled with low interest rates equals top dollar for your house in today's market. If you want to sell within your time frame and get the most money possible, now is the time.
Harpole Real Estate with Keller Williams will ensure a stress-free move for you. Not all agents are the same. In fact, Eric, Jeanette, and their team outsell all other agents and teams in Lane County. Since 2009, they've helped 150 more families sell and move than the number 2 agent. The reason? Better marketing and better negotiating. And unlike other agents, they offer flexible commissions. Their exclusive enhanced listing program, and if you're not happy, fire them. You are in control.
Call for a free no-pressure consultation, 541-286-3030 or at harpolehomes.com. If you live in Douglas County, Harpole Real Estate can help you too. Now you have a real estate team that can get your home sold. 541-286-3030.
Ramjack has your foundation solution. Ramjack can fix that.
CCB 146906. It's the big happenings in the Valley and the state.
This is the Wake Up Call on 1120 KPNW with Bill London.
Good morning. Let's look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Before we get into the news, appreciate the day. Here's what's going on. Jury selection has begun for the trial of a suspect who faces the death penalty if convicted in the 2012 murder of a man whose dismembered body was found buried off a remote forest road near Eugene. 25-year-old A.J. Scott Nelson accused of helping David Ray Taylor kill Celestino Gutierrez in 2012. Taylor was convicted in the killing in 2014. He's now on death row. Nelson, a military vet, is charged with many of the same crimes that Taylor was found to have committed and could also be sentenced to death. A judge denied a request from Nelson's attorneys last week to ban the possibility of the death penalty because of an injury their client suffered while serving in the Army in Afghanistan. A man who was 86'd from a bar near the U of O pulled a gun on employees. 23-year-old Forrest Loeffner was refused drinks at Taylor's Bar and Grill around 1 a.m. Tuesday morning and asked to leave. Loeffner refused, and so he was removed by bar staff. Once outside, Loeffner allegedly pulled a gun and started threatening employees. He then fled and was picked up by police at East 11th and Alder a short time later. Loeffner was booked into the Lane County Jail on charges of unlawful use of a weapon, reckless endangerment, second-degree disorderly conduct, and 3 counts of menacing. Expect the usual round of delays as road repair season begins. Slowdowns expected on North Territorial Road today. Crews are going to be fixing potholes between Monroe and Cheshire from milepost 1 to milepost 8. ODOT says many of those potholes are right in the middle of the road, so both lanes will be affected. Expect delays of up to 20 minutes. A man with dementia has disappeared from his Springfield home. 68-year-old Pedro Cervantes Barragan left his residence on E Street yesterday to take a walk. Police say he never returned. Cervantes Barragan is described as 5'8", gray hair, brown eyes. He does not speak English. His family says he was wearing tan pants, a black jacket, and a black hat. He has dementia, schizophrenia, and diabetes. His family says that he has a card in his wallet with his phone number and the family's address on it. The Oregon State women's basketball team was welcomed back to campus with a big rally yesterday. Brad Ford says their next stop, the Final Four.
Your Oregon State women's basketball team!
After beating Baylor, it's on to play Connecticut in the Final Four. OSU President Ed Ray welcomed the team.
Hey, Beaver Nation, is this terrific or what?
Sidney Weiss says it's an amazing accomplishment in the school's history, but they aren't finished.
There's work to do. There's still a lot of basketball to be played, so we're focused, but we're going to enjoy each moment together.
And Jamie Weisner enjoyed the trophy. She wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, it was in the bed next to me.
The Beavers play top-ranked UConn Sunday at 3 o'clock Pacific time, followed by Syracuse and the Washington Huskies. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
KPNW News Time is 7:15. Ammon Bundy and 3 co-defendants who were jailed in Oregon for the occupation of the National Wildlife Refuge have appealed an order that requires them to fly to Nevada next month, facing charges in a federal case there. Assistant Federal Public Defender Rich Frederico sent notice that the 4 men are appealing to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. A federal judge in Portland last week ordered the defendants to be flown to Nevada on April 13th and returned to Oregon April 25th. During that window, they would make their first court appearances on charges stemming from a 2014 standoff at Cliven Bundy's ranch near Bunkerville, Nevada. Defense attorneys say the clock shouldn't start on the Nevada case until the one in Oregon is finished because it would violate their clients' rights to effective counsel. Oregon's decision last year to remove the gray wolf from the state's endangered species list was upheld in state law when Governor Kate Brown signed House Bill 4040 a couple of weeks ago. As of this week, the bill is now being used as a tool in the courtroom to block a lawsuit filed by environmentalists who want to challenge the delisting decision. Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum filed a neatly titled Notice of Probable Mootness with the state appellate court on Monday, saying Wolf Advocates' request for a review of the delisting decision is likely to no longer be relevant because of House Bill 4040. Therefore, a notice of probable mootness. That's exactly what lawmakers intended the bill to do, and while the judge will have the final say, environmentalists say the situation is looking, for them, gloomy. A study shows Oregon's new birth control law could be improved, according to some. Brad Ford says health experts believe there are still too many hurdles to getting birth control.
The new law is a step forward for contraceptive access, yet Oregon women can only get 2 types from the pharmacist: oral pills and hormonal patches. Dr. Maria Isabel Rodriguez at OHSU says the law could go even further to improve access
to the most effective forms of long-acting birth control, such as intrauterine device or implant.
Rodriguez says there are other methods to add to the list, like Depo-Provera.
That's done kind of throughout other parts of the world, and I think it's something that we should look into here in Oregon.
They hope that by showing the bill is appreciated by women as well as safe and effective, they can work to expand the number of methods. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Presidential candidates cross the map in Wisconsin. Their campaign rallies come a week before crucial primaries in that state.
I have a plan. I'm not just up here saying, let's bash the bad guys. I want to bash the bad guys as much as anybody else. But after you get done bashing the bad guys, how are you going to give people good jobs with rising incomes? I'm the only candidate who's actually laid out a plan to do just that.
See, why am I running for president? Because I believe I can be a good president, the best of anybody running, and I believe I have the skills to do it.
I don't want to tell the world what I'm going to do because they're watching. Just let me do it, folks. I will do it. You will be so happy. You don't have to know the details, okay? let me do it.
And the courage, the principle that was demonstrated and is demonstrated every day by Scott Walker, by the men and women of Wisconsin, we need that courage, we need that principle in Washington, D.C., taking on the special interests.
So next Tuesday, let us show Governor Walker that his plans have failed. Let's have the largest voter turnout.
The campaign stops also come as Wisconsin's Republican governor, Scott Walker, endorsed Ted Cruz for the nation's top office. Now, Republican presidential candidates are stepping back from a months-old pledge to back their party's White House nominee, whoever that candidate might be.
If the nominee is somebody that I think is really hurting the country and dividing the country, I can't stand behind them.
Ohio Governor John Kasich at Tuesday's CNN town hall. Similar comments were also heard from Donald Trump.
No, we'll see who it is.
He says that many Republicans have treated him unfairly. Ted Cruz, meanwhile, says he's unsure whether he would support Trump if he's the nominee, adding that he does not get into the habit of backing candidates who insult his wife. Well, Google has acquired more land to expand its data center campus in the Dalles. Google bought 74 acres from Northwest Aluminum, which operated a smelter along the Columbia River until the year 2000. The sale price is yet to be recorded with the assessor's office in Wasco County. Google opened its first corporate data center in the Dalles about a decade ago, and it's steadily expanded since then. About 175 people work there. A Portland massage therapist arrested earlier this month has been indicted on new charges relating to the sexual abuse of 6 additional women. Benjamin Kalura is now facing multiple charges of second and third degree sexual abuse for alleged incidents that occurred between November of 2012 and this last February. His attorney is declining comments on the new indictment. Kalura pleaded not guilty last week to charges stemming from a February 20th encounter with a woman who claims he sexually abused her after she received a massage at the River's Edge Hotel and Spa. The alleged victim has filed a $1 million lawsuit against the company that manages that hotel. Since Kalura's March 9th arrest, 6 more women have come forward claiming that he sexually abused them. Well, the fastest rising house prices in the U.S. are in Portland. The S&P Dow Jones released data showing home prices in Portland have grown 11.8% year to year. Seattle and San Francisco took the number 2 and 3 spots with 10.7 and 10.5% increases, respectively. On average, home prices in cities across the country rose about 5.7%. The report shows that the western part of the country had the largest price gains, while the Northeast the weakest. Denver and Dallas round out the top 5. The report also showed the average rent in Portland rose 13% in the last year. Now costs the average person $1,770 a month. Let's keep Portland expensive. At 7:21, this look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Oregon women's basketball team will play the WNIT Final Four tonight in Vermillion, South Dakota against the Coyotes. They're doing all this without their All-American Jillian Aline out with a torn ACL. OSU women trying to get the game plan right for UConn in their Final Four game. The program's first, happening Saturday afternoon. Oregon's Dylan Brooks earned an honorable mention on the AP All-American team, as did OSU's Gary Payton II. Tomorrow, the Oregon baseball team takes on Notre Dame in South Bend, and then the weekend, they'll be in East Lansing to face Michigan State. Not on the trip is pitcher David Peterson, who's out with an undisclosed injury. Friday, the softball team starts a weekend series with UCLA. Jane Sanders, of course, ready for business. The OSU baseball team back on the winning side of things after dropping 4 games in a row. Beavers corral San Diego State 9-6. With international soccer coming to Autzen in summer, some already have the bug. For those, we give you these stories. The U.S. men's national team gets back in line for a 2018 World Cup berth. They shut out Guatemala 4-0. This after a 2-0 loss a couple of days ago. Hard to fathom, but the U.S. under-23 team did not qualify for the Olympic men's soccer tournaments. The second time consecutively that's happened, first time in a half century. They lost to Colombia 2-1. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW, brought to you by Max Muscle, the authority in sports nutrition since 1991. Across Franklin from Market of Choice in Eugene. News time, 7:23.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, or you're already out and about, we do have a little bit of patchy dense fog off and on out there. Otherwise, mostly clear skies, and it is chilly. Temps are in the low to mid-30s out there. Light winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. This afternoon, the high pressure will continue to dominate across the region. That means once the fog burns off by about 11 a.m., clear skies and smooth sailing. Temps will be about 8 degrees warmer today, reaching the upper 60s to even a few low 70s out there. Winds will shift north at 5 to 10, but the sunny weather looks to continue throughout most of the week. We are tracking a major storm system, though, set to move in late Sunday night into early next week, bringing the showers and the clouds back, as well as much cooler high temperatures. So right now, go out and enjoy it. It won't last forever. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day full of sunshine.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, sponsored by Eugene's #1 electrical contractor, Builders Electric. One of America's most successful actresses, Sandra Bullock, recently shared a very significant thought when she said, "I wish I could go back and tell myself to not worry so much. I wasted so much time with worry." And I believe her statement probably affects all of us and how much time we've spent in our lives worrying about a wide variety of things and situations. And as many others have said, nobody ever accomplished anything sitting around having a pity party about something probably won't happen anyhow. So quit worrying. Go out and do something active to eliminate it. It definitely won't be a waste of time. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
This Motivational Minute was brought to you by Builders Electric, providing honest, reliable, and positive contracting throughout the Willamette Valley since 1960. That's Builders Electric, CCB number 4296.
I'm not a bodybuilder.
I am not an athlete.
I'm not into health clubs.
I do not eat junk food.
I am not a young man anymore.
I am exercising daily. I am feeling great. I am loving life.
I am Max Muscle. Max Muscle Sports Nutrition, Franklin Boulevard, Eugene.
This winter, we received more rainfall than in the past 75 years. Severe weather could cause damage to your home's foundation. Ramjack can fix that. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com.
CCB 146906.
Interest-free for 3 event is ending Sunday. If that's not motivation enough, just the whole idea that your bed, if it's anything like maybe you have a lack of dresser drawers and things like that, and it kind of assumes that position, or maybe it just kind of gets taken down with workout equipment or anything but sleep. If you had a mattress from Sleep Train, you would love and adore it and cherish it and almost be obsessed with it to the point where you wouldn't let that happen. If somebody came in, you would be, no, I'd rather you not sit on the bed. I'm sure there's people out there that have that kind of possessive feeling about their bed. And if you don't, maybe just kind of go just see what is possible out there. Plant the seed. They've got a variety of mattress and matri awaiting a test lay today.
Yep, the interest-free for 3 event is going to be ending before too long. So you need to head on in and just check them out. They are growing, by the way. They have up there, if you're headed up to Portland, up there on I-205, they've got a new one. And you can start sleeping better as soon as tonight with the same-day delivery if you purchase by 2 p.m. That's right. It's Sleep Train's highly trained professionals team that'll set up your bed and take away your old one. Sleep Train in Corvallis, Albany, Eugene, and Springfield. Tell them Bill and Rob from the Wake Up Call sent you.
See a problem on the commute? Be an official KPNW Wake Up Call Road Ranger today. Call 541-344-2424 and report it. Dakota Ring and Road Ranger Cape and Sombrero sold separately.
The Road Ranger Network, exclusively on 1120 KPNW.
Live and direct from New York, but originally from lovely Yakima, Washington. It's none other than Fox legal analyst and author Lise Wheel joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. Good morning, Lise.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing fine. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, let's just roll right into it. Donald Trump is talking about that he was going to potentially sue Ted Cruz over claiming more delegates in Louisiana than he technically won on the March 5th primary. Can you... Where do you go with this? I mean, is this something that you can even sue over?
Well, he's going to try. He's going to say that, look, there were 10 delegates kind of hanging out there. 5 that were dedicated to Rubio, of course, who's out of the race. Another 5 that weren't dedicated to anyone. And he's saying, look, they all belong to me, Cruz. Give them to me. Otherwise, I'm going to sue you in federal court to get them to come to me. Federal court is going to say, look, Trump, unless there's something blatantly unconstitutional about the rules there in, sorry, there's a fire alarm going off there, I turned it off, unconstitutional about the rules of the GOP rules in Louisiana, we're not going to get involved. This is a state issue. This is a Louisiana issue. And unless the Louisiana rules say, only white guys get to vote, there's nothing we're going to do about it. So, no, the answer is no, there's nothing that the courts are going to do. And Trump is kind of dead in the water on this one. All right.
I like this idea. I don't know that it's legal, but I like it. Texting and walking punishable by jail time. A New Jersey Assemblywoman is actually proposing fines and jail time as punishment for being caught texting and walking. All right, you can pull a car over and you can cite its driver for driving while talking on a cell phone. I don't know if they have that back in New York, but here in Oregon, it definitely is against the law, and it is punishable by fines. Why not? You're walking around downtown, you're texting, you're not paying attention, and the next thing you know, you're stepping out into traffic and causing an accident or knocking a bicyclist over, any number of things. Does this have any grounds?
I think it's a stretch. Really, you're walking and texting, and you could end up in jail for 15 days. I mean, can you imagine you go into jail and it's like...
All right, well, what about a fine?
Yeah, no, they're fine. Okay, I get a fine, but jail, 15 days. You go in there, and some guy comes up to you, and you're like, "What are you in for?" And you go, "Walking while texting." I mean, I get walking. No, texting
ooh, you're
while
a hardened criminal. You're a hard. You're hard. Well, okay. But you know as well as I, you're a federal were a federal prosecutor. Right. You know that these laws, they say, okay, you could face up to $50 in fines and 15 days in jail. Generally, though, doesn't the jail time in a minor offense like this, isn't that something if you've been busted like 5 or 6 times doing this, then finally the judge says, you know what, you're not learning your lesson. You're going to the county jail for 15 days, young Mr. or Missy.
Right. You don't usually get the first time, but you could. You get an obnoxious defendant who's like, I don't know, and a cranky judge on a bad day. You could go to jail. It's just that, I think that, look, while you're texting while driving, I totally get that because you are driving a lethal weapon at that point. But texting while walking, I think that may be a little overkill. Slippery slope. Like, what if I'm walking down Fifth Avenue, right? And I go to my favorite hot dog vendor because there are hot dog vendors on every avenue or every block. Mm-hmm. And I get my hot dog, and I always get it with everything on it: the mustard, not mayo, ketchup, and relish. And the relish starts slipping down. I'm concentrating on the relish, look at the relish, trying to get it back on the hot dog, and I'm not, I'm oblivious, and I walk into traffic, and I get arrested for that. So then I'm arrested for walking with a hot dog. I mean, you can see it's the same sort of thing, really. So, but we all laugh about that. Well, it's the same kind of thing. I'm really walking while distracted.
Okay. Well, what about having a cup of coffee? I mean, legally, then, if you're going to charge somebody who's in a vehicle, and yes, you can make the difference between a pedestrian is not a 4,000-pound deadly weapon.
Exactly.
But that same pedestrian with a cell phone not paying attention, I just think right out here, we by the way, the radio station is right near a main area mall.
Right.
And I have seen this occur where somebody on their looking at their cell phone, texting,
right.
literally just starts walking right across the crosswalk against a red light, and you've got cars that are coming to a screeching halt in the middle of the intersection to keep from hitting this guy. It didn't even notice it. Had the headphones on, didn't even
Not
notice
even
it.
hearing anything,
Now, that
right.
person could have caused an accident with more than one vehicle, at which point, you look at it and go, if people are just going to be walking around causing a hazard, well, maybe they should be held responsible.
Yeah, I just don't know that going to prison is the right thing to do.
It's not prison, Lise. It's
Yeah,
jail. It's
well,
not like
you
you're
could,
sending
though.
them to federal prison. It's not like they're going to go to the state pen. They're going to go to either the city municipal jail or a county facility for a couple
You
of
really
days.
want to stick somebody like that in who's just like being a dope to go to, well, not prison. Now, you're not in federal prison, but to go to jail. I mean, to really, overcrowded
Rob,
jails
you're shaking
anyway.
your head. What?
I can't even believe you're having this argument longer than 20 seconds. She's right.
Good, thank you.
I don't think she is.
Some
I think
sense
she's wrong.
is coming in here.
I disagree.
That's what we need to throw these people in with the.
Well,
the
do you think it would solve the
violent
problem?
criminals.
I mean, I look at it this way.
Stick it in the
I look at it this way.
pocketbook.
I look at it this way. All right, that 15 days, generally any judge is going to go, okay, you were doing this, it's a $50 fine. You cause an accident or something like that, now a judge has leeway to go, you know what, you don't just get to skate on this.
Well, so
But
fine
we're
them
not
more.
talking about
Fine
that.
them $500 or something, but don't put them in prison for that. They're just being stupid.
Again,
They're
it's
being
not prison.
moronic. That's all. So then fine them something. Fine them more than $50. Fine them $500, but don't put them in prison. What's that going to do?
Well, apparently would get the point across.
I think fining them some big fine, that would get the point across. I don't think you're going to be talking on your phone or texting on your phone when you're fined $500. I get that, but putting them in prison with a bunch of criminals, I don't get that. Nah, I think
And
it's really
not
overkill.
prison.
Well, jail. Come on, it's the same thing. I mean, it's not federal prison, but you're putting them in jail. They're incarcerated. Let's just put it that way. They are not free to go. They have to eat their meals in jail.
And who's spending that? Who's picking up the tab?
But we are, and it's costing us money. It's
Which we
costing
have
all of us money, taxpayer
ample
money.
amount, so it's-
All right. Lise, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. You take
Have a
care.
great day. Just don't be texting and walking.
I won't. Don't worry. Anyway, take care.
Take care.
Bye. See, I think if you cause an accident, I got no problem with that. Like I said, it's not more than probably within the last 2 months. Right out here in front of the station. Person's not paying attention. Lights.
It happens daily.
Yeah, well, does that make it right? Just because
So
it happens
we're going to throw
daily?
them all in the.
Well, hey, you cause an accident because you're not paying attention and you're wandering around with your headphones on, with your face buried in your phone, and you cause a wreck. You're causing potentially somebody else an injury. You're causing them expenses because they're going to have to pick up part of the bill.
Well, then
Likely their insurance is going to go up because you're too busy staring at your cell phone as opposed to paying attention to the world around you.
Should you get
And
out scot-free? No. Maybe financially, you.
I think
you
I
get
don't
covered,
have a
but
problem
you don't
with
go to
it.
jail for it.
I don't have a problem. 15 days, it's not that
ridiculous.
long. I don't have a problem with it. You cause an accident, somebody else gets injured, I got no problem with that. You're an idiot.
7:36. Jay Bozovich, Commissioner, coming up next.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Wall Street is cheering a pleasant surprise on the jobs front. The Dow up 131 points, the Nasdaq up 46, and the S&P up 14 after payroll processing company ADP said U.S. businesses added more jobs than expected in March. ADP reports private sector payroll growth coming in at 200,000. Bloomberg surveyed analysts had forecast 195,000. With customers demanding less expensive jetliners, Boeing is planning job cuts. More than 4,500 jobs will be eliminated by June. Most of the jobs will be lost in the Washington state-based commercial airline unit through a combination of attrition and voluntary layoffs. Its massive, deadly airbag recall may cost the maker of the faulty inflators $24 billion. A person familiar with the matter tells Bloomberg that's a worst-case scenario for Japan's Takata. Takata won't comment, but the report sent its shares in Tokyo plunging. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
When it comes to windows, doors, and installation, Discount Windows has you covered.
Discount Windows has thousands of premium overstock windows on site and the lowest prices on stock windows, like Ply Gem vinyl windows and patio doors. Discount Windows ensures a quick turnaround on custom orders, too.
We provide professional, affordable installation.
Highway 99 in Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Discount Windows. We do windows, doors, and installation for less.
CCB 180018.
When you take the train, there's no telling what adventures await you. But that didn't stop us from speculating. Here's how it works, Mary. You tell me what you do aboard Amtrak Cascades, and I'll use my powers of prognostication to predict your path. Still game?
I'm game.
While riding the train, do you A, relax in your seat, or B, visit the bistro car?
Relax in my seat.
Catch some Z's, or be productive?
Be productive.
Open a book or your laptop?
Laptop.
Email or blog?
Blog.
Okay, here goes. While blogging in your comfy leather chair, you're moved by the sweeping views of the mossy megalopolis that is Oregon. You start building tiny train terrariums with native moss and even make punny t-shirts like, don't forget to moss.
Wow, that's pretty specific.
Yeah, it's a gift. Amtrak Cascades. See what happens from Eugene to Portland for less than $20 one way. Start your adventure at Amtrak.com/see what happens. Restrictions may apply.
Investments in securities involves the risk of loss. The following is a far too common tale of investing in annuities. A successful couple invested a large portion of their savings in annuities, thinking they were a safe way to guarantee a dependable income stream no matter what the market did. But it didn't take long for them to regret their decision. They were locked into low returns, faced potential tax consequences, and that they couldn't get out of their annuities without paying huge penalties. They were stuck, and so was their money. Suddenly, their retirement hopes and dreams were in danger. But it didn't have to happen to them, and it doesn't have to happen to you. You can avoid the annuity trap. Here's one way. Get the free report, Annuity Insights, your guide to better understanding annuities, by calling 1-800-375-4441. Written by Forbes columnist and money manager Ken Fisher's firm. This powerful report could help save you from major financial heartache, and it's offered today for free. If you have an annuity or are considering one, claim your free annuities guide today. Hurry, free copies are limited. Call now. 1-800-375-4441. 1-800-375-4441.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're sending those kids out to the bus stop, make sure you take a coat with you. Temps right now are only a few degrees above freezing, in the low 30s to mid-30s out there. Now, I do have some patchy dense fog off and on. Otherwise, mostly clear skies and winds out of the north by northeast at 5 to 10. Now, that fog will burn off by about 11 a.m., leading to mostly sunny skies this afternoon as high pressure looks to continue to dominate across the region. And thanks to that same high pressure and clear skies, well, the highs will be about 8 degrees warmer this afternoon. In the upper 60s to a few low 70s out there. Light winds out of the north at 5 to 10 should keep things very nice. Now, this clear sunny skies look to continue for several days into the weekend, but we're already tracking a major storm system headed this way. The high pressure will start to move away this weekend, and by Sunday night into Monday, the showers and cooler weather will be back across the region. Simply put, make sure you go out and enjoy the next few days. They won't last. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
Mornings are a little different with a wake-up call.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Holloway in London. On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Our weather guy is such a killjoy. 742 News Radio 1120 KPNW. Joining us on the wake-up call this morning, he is Lane County Commissioner Jay Bozovich. Jay, thanks for being with us this morning.
Happy to be here, Bill.
Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Let's just get right into it this morning. First off, one of the stories that we were chatting about yesterday had to do with the Forest Work Camp. Used to be a place where offenders, kind of low-threat offenders were taken out. They lived kind of out in the woods. They worked out in the woods, hopefully were rehabilitated out there, gave them a chance, and apparently everything that I've heard about it and talked to people years ago that were involved in it said that it was a pretty successful program, but with a lack of timber dollars coming in with the reduction in the SRS payments, it just was something that the county couldn't afford to continue running, but yet they're still paying you, the county, are still paying money to keep the thing, I guess, maintained and folks out of it and operational and stuff. How much a year are they paying for that out there? They being, how much is the county paying to just maintain and keep it safe?
Well, it cost us about $250,000 a year to keep that the buildings, up and running, heated enough that everything doesn't freeze up, and some electricity out there. And most of that cost goes towards having some staff out there to maintain security, so we don't lose every piece of copper or metal on the site, because it is pretty isolated out there.
Right. And you've got a license that you have to have, or at least a permit from the state that allows you to be out there in forest land that's expiring soon, right?
Yeah, it's a special use permit, because we're out there in F1 zoning, which is prime forest land. And one of the reasons it's worth kind of maintaining the site is to maintain that license. It's a very unusual thing to have this kind of facility in the middle of all that forest land. And we're hoping maybe to take advantage of that and transfer ownership or lease to either the state to run a forest work camp there. We took the Department of Corrections through there, but they declined taking up our opportunity. And we've also looked at several nonprofits that want to do drug and alcohol rehab possibly out there, and also one group that was looking at taking veterans suffering from PTSD and rehabilitating them out there in that more isolated environment. And that's kind of the value of maintaining that site at the time, is to maintain that special use permit. But it does expire next March. There's a possibility we can get another extension, but we're kind of looking at it as we really need to get somebody in there doing the actual use rather than just having empty buildings out there. It's hard to argue for an extension with empty buildings.
Are you looking for a lease, and can you actually sell it?
We're actually doing both, is what the board decided yesterday. We directed staff to prepare a draft request for proposals that'll come back to the board to actually approve. That will allow for folks to propose either a lease arrangement with us or an actual purchase of the property from us. And that's it. That way it brings in the largest universe of potential people buying it, because there are folks that don't necessarily want to maintain it as a work camp sort of site. They're actually, it's surrounded by private timber lands, and the private timber landowner in the area might be interested in purchasing it and bringing it back into timber production. So, that way it gives the biggest, broadest choices for the board to try and make use of that property and stop putting money into it and have it actually bring money back to the county.
What kind of assessed value does it have? I mean, what's the market value of it?
It was assessed between $70,000 and $100,000, and it's really low, and partly because unless you're going to use it for a forest work camp or one of the things that's specific under the special use permit, it's timberland and it's currently cleared. Mm-hmm. So it's open meadow timberland right now. So if you're going to take it, if it's not being used by the county and there's no special use permit, it's just basically timberland that's been clear cut and hasn't been replanted. So whoever purchases it's going to have to plant it and wait 40 to 50 years before they get any money out of it.
How many acres?
It's about 70 acres.
Okay. All right, moving on to another topic, and this was last night you posted that you're going to be on the Wake Up call this morning, and somebody put on there questioning why it is that we have 4 county health department offices and they're all in Eugene as opposed to being spread around the county. And I thought, oh, that's worth asking. Okay, so go ahead and answer that person's question.
And I wrote back to him this morning that it's a pretty long answer, but I gave a brief description of it. But, he was concerned that we were mimicking, say, Oregon Medical Group and other private providers' locations. And that may be true to some extent, but our patient and customer base is different. We're serving Oregon Medical, the Oregon Health Plan patients, Medicaid and Medicare patients, basically, folks that are buying insurance on the exchange. And that's not the same patient base that Oregon Medical Group and the private providers are providing for. Most of our patients are located in Eugene and Springfield, the vast majority of them. So that's where we started with our clinics. We actually put the Delta Clinic on the fringe, trying to at least get it a little bit more accessible to Junction City and some of the outlying areas there. But it's also difficult to find primary care providers in rural areas and to stretch out there. And we are looking in Florence, we are looking in Cottage Grove to open clinics in the future. It's just like the private side, it's difficult to find staff. It's difficult to make it work and pencil out. But we are looking at that. But we are serving and actually have a waiting list for folks to get in with a primary care. We still have folks on the Oregon Health Plan in Lane County that don't have a primary care provider, and those 4 clinics are basically full of patients. They're maxed as far as the number of patients. So, yeah, they're all centered around Eugene and Springfield, but that's also where the majority of our customer base is.
All right, so Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley, I guess it was either last week or the week before, Big Dog and Pony Show. Oh, look, we're bringing more SRS payments to Oregon. Look at what we've done, and aren't we good senators? And you found it rather humorous. Why?
Well, basically what they were touting was the fact the Forest Service was going to be sending us our checks for the last SRS payment that was authorized, and in fact it's actually 3 months late. So it was kind of like you signed a lease 2 years ago with your landlord, and you're already about 90 days late on your rent, and you do a press release saying, I'm getting ready to put that check in the mail to my landlord.
Really?
Yeah, but what bothers me a little bit as a commissioner is people that don't know that think that we're getting new money the way they did the press release, and they think that why are we all hurting for money? We just heard you're getting another $10 million, Lane County. And it's like, no, that was money they promised us earlier. It's already been budgeted in this year's budget. And also the $10 million gets split up between us and the Common School Fund and Title II, so we don't get all $10 million. That's what's coming into our road fund from the Forest Service. So it really bothers me when our senator from New York City publicizes stuff like that, because it really confuses the citizens.
Title II, by the way, that's the FireWise program, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that still exist for folks? I mean, because we're getting into that time of year when, folks that kind of live on that fringe between, the suburbs and actually the rural forested areas, when that kind of comes into play. Are those FireWise, are monies still available for folks that live out in those areas?
Yeah, there's still some, but it's very limited. It's got, just like the SRS payments, those have been getting smaller and smaller. So the amount that's available for folks to access for improvements to their property to make them safer is not what it used to be.
Commissioner Jay Bozovich joining us on the Wake Up Call, Lane County Commissioner Jay Bozovich. Talk a little bit about the public safety district, the proposed public safety district, and the way that fell apart. Most of the commissioners, at least going in, were in favor of it, and we're talking about the special proposed district out in the Elmira area. And we're, this seems like a pretty good idea, and we're all behind it. The sheriff was, and then there was the public meeting and pretty much everybody tried not to make eye contact and back away. What? Well, I mean, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Am I wrong on that? I mean, is that a bad assessment? That's certainly what it seemed like.
Yeah, well, it was an idea that was brought forward, by citizens, and we listened to the citizens and helped them, mold it into an actual real proposal and then brought it out in the public hearings. Unfortunately, they were moving so fast that I think they got ahead of educating the people that were living in the district. And there was an extreme amount of misinformation that was repeated back in the public testimony in that hearing, which is really kind of disappointing because I thought that the group was doing a pretty good job. They held some of their own public meetings to educate people. They've been really present on social media. But there was persistent things about how this was really all about rural people that were going to finance Veneta's patrol system. And, the Veneta folks were actually going to get a tax cut and pay less after this passes than they were before, which wasn't true. And several things like that. And just, they were starting out, our initial polling showed they were starting out with not a very strong win. They were barely in the plus column. And with that kind of misinformation out there and public sentiment, it was just doomed at the ballot box. And I think they just needed to rework a few things. One of the things that definitely was causing a lot of friction with the public was the idea that the Fern Ridge School District and Crow Applegate-Lorraine were going to share this school resource officer, yet a little bit of the district was actually in Bethel. Mm-hmm. And those folks that were over the line in Alvador that live in the Bethel district weren't going to benefit from that school resource officer. So there was a little bit of friction there. So they may have, they're going to back up a little bit and try and rework their proposal. But it was one of those things where we listened to a group of citizens, helped them put a proposal forward, then we listened to the general public and determined that it was actually not productive to place it on the ballot. So that's, in both cases, I think the board was listening to our citizens.
24/7 patrols. You've got 24/7 patrols starting again in Lane County, 2 years in coming to do the hiring, do the training, go through all the hoops that normally has to be gone through before you hire officers. How many officers, let's say overnight, the 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m. hours on, say, a Sunday, how many people are you going to actually have out on the road?
Yeah, I think they always have a minimum of 3. So they have 2 guys that are actually patrol deputies and usually a sergeant that's out there also, so that they have the ability to back each other up if necessary. But you think about 3 people spread over the size of Lane County, that's not really a lot of coverage, but it is at least on all the time. Where we had that shooting incident out here in the Veneta area, that happened during the 4 hours we didn't have somebody on, and we actually had to pull people out of their homes to respond to that. And the actual first deputy on scene was one of our Marine deputies who just happened to be the closest person available to respond. So and that took quite a while.
You're going to have some town halls going on with Sheriff Trapp. When do they start? Where are you going to be? And go ahead and give some details about it.
Sure, and I appreciate you letting me promote those a little bit. Sheriff Trapp and I did this with Tom Turner also before. We're going to be doing some town halls all over the county. Our first one is Monday night in Veneta at the Veneta Community Center from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be down in Florence at the Stanislaw Library Bromley Room on the 6th, and that's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. also. All these start at 6:30. And then on the 19th, we'll be at the Mapleton Lions Club. And on the 25th, we'll be out at the Triangle Lake School in Blatchley. So, and we've got a couple other sites that we're trying to firm up, Junction City and Santa Clara.
Okay.
And I'll be advertising those soon. But over the next month, I'm going to be kind of all over our district with the sheriff, and we're going to be out there ready to answer everybody's questions.
We have 30 seconds here. Quickly, promote the Bo's Nose podcast show.
Oh, yeah. I've also got another way you can reach me, and that's on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. on KRBN Internet Radio. So if you just Google KRBN, you can find my show, and I also, on my Facebook page, you can find links to it.
All right.
And you can call in and talk to me.
All right, sounds good. Commissioner Brozovich, thanks for joining us. Have a good trip to Florence. It's 7:57 KPNW.
If you've dreamed of owning an RV, let the RV Corral help make those dreams come true. The RV Corral is Eugene's largest Winnebago dealer for motorhomes and lightweight travel trailers. Over 200 new and pre-owned motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, and campers. All Class A and C motorhomes are on sale now. With local owners for 28 years and all local employees, the RV Corral will be there to help you make your RV dreams come true. Easy to find on Highway 99, 1 mile south of Beltline. Buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
Built for business. In business, time is money. In business, money is also money. No wonder nearly 1,000 businesses choose Comcast Business Internet over DSL from the phone company every single day. Not only is it up to 5 times faster, it's actually a better value when you go with the fastest plan. So take a minute out of your busy schedule and call Comcast Business. It will be well worth your time and your money. Switch to Comcast Business Internet. Then add voice and TV for just $34.90 a month. And ask about our 2-year price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Offer ends 5/31/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to 1 voice line and private view TV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires Comcast Business Internet at an additional monthly charge. Equipment taxes and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra. Savings claim based on cost per megabits per second. Compares Comcast 100 megabits per second and 20 megabits per second DSL downloads.
Tune in to Real Estate Today, weekdays at 5:30 p.m.
I'm Bob Nelson, real estate investment broker and exchange specialist. Cascade Exchange Services is my choice for completing tax-deferred exchanges. Megan McMahon, who's a CPA, is my choice of the person to handle my tax-deferred exchanges. It's a locally owned company. They do business on a nationwide basis, same-day document preparation, and she's always available for free and very excellent consultation. Contact
Fox
Megan
News,
at Cascade
fair
Exchange
and balanced.
Services.
We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Just days after terrorists attacked Brussels and a suicide bomber blew himself up in a Pakistan park full of children on Easter.
Our prayers are with the victims, their families, the survivors of these cowardly attacks.
President Obama at an Easter prayer breakfast.
They can tempt us to cast out the stranger, strike out against those who don't look like us, or pray exactly as we do.
Reiterating his support to help Syrian refugees, Republicans are wary of letting more in. Dealing with allies nervous about Russian aggression, the U.S. is going to send more troops to Eastern Europe next year. Fox's Jared Halpern live in Washington.
The Pentagon plans to deploy an Army brigade to NATO's eastern flank, part of an ongoing effort to rotate troops in and out of the region. NATO allies in the Baltics have expressed concern about the U.S. commitment after Russia's intervention in Ukraine 2 years ago. The current plans would rotate a brigade of about 4,500 soldiers, plus send state-of-the-art equipment, including tanks, Bradley fighting vehicles, and more than 1,700 trucks. There are currently more than 60,000 U.S. forces permanently based in Europe. Dave.
Jared, Egypt is asking Cyprus to extradite the man facing numerous charges for hijacking a plane yesterday wearing a fake explosives belt. A survey of 31 mid-sized cars finds just one with good headlights. A third were rated poor. Fox's Evan Brown has more live.
Dave, that sedan you bought with the leather seats and tortoiseshell steering wheel most likely has poorly performing headlamps.
Buying a luxury car doesn't guarantee good headlights. We have a lot of BMW and Mercedes models at the bottom of the list, and yet we have a Toyota Prius and a Honda Accord that are doing a reasonably decent job.
Russ Rader with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says good headlights, ones that let you see for 400 feet ahead, usually require upgraded trim packages, Dave.
Evan, on Wall Street, a rally. The Dow's up 137. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
About 2% of the population has a condition known as scoliosis, or curvature of the spine, with the vast majority of cases occurring in children. Some schools sponsor scoliosis screenings, but parents can watch for symptoms such as uneven shoulder or waist, prominent shoulder blades, or leaning to one side. Detection and treatment are the best ways to prevent an existing problem from getting worse. The specialists at Neurospine Institute can properly diagnose scoliosis and determine the best treatment options for your child.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
Donald Trump is about to hold a rally in Wisconsin the morning after all 3 Republican candidates refused to commit to support whoever wins the nomination.
I think nominating Donald Trump would be an absolute train wreck.
Ted Cruz at a CNN town hall forum. Bernie Sanders will also hold a rally this hour in Wisconsin, 6 days before the primary there. The Supreme Court, just deadlocked in a union dues case, is trying to avoid a tie in an Obamacare contraception mandate challenge.
The 8 justices on the High Court are directing both sides in the case that was argued last week to file a new round of legal briefs. They're asked to examine the minimum that faith groups must do in order to register their objection to paying for contraception. A 4-4 tie would leave different rules in place in different parts of the country because lower courts have issued conflicting rulings. Another option is to leave the issue unsettled until a 9th justice is confirmed to take the place of Justice Antonin Scalia. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
People who dress up like superheroes and cartoon characters in New York City could face new restrictions.
Elmo, bus tour ticket sellers, and the naked painted ladies may have to stay in one spot in Times Square if the New York City Council okays a proposed measure. There's a hearing set for today for the Council's Transportation Committee. It comes after complaints of aggressive panhandling behavior, primarily from the costumed characters pushing tourists for tips. In the most recent incident, a man in a Spider-Man costume was accused of fighting with a tourist over a tip last weekend and now faces an assault charge. In New York City, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
If you're hungry, this might change that. Interpol says a recent crackdown has turned up a record 11,000 tons of toxic and counterfeit food in 57 countries. Chicken with formaldehyde in it, beef and buffalo meat deemed unfit for human consumption, olives painted with copper sulfate, fertilizer-tainted sugar, and a lot of bogus alcohol drinks. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Counterfeit food?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Gee, you know, all of a sudden that Chipotle thing starts to make sense, doesn't it? No, I'm not saying, that was sort of me being jokey.
Good morning. Welcome in.
But still.
It is hour number 3, Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. Going through audio from 7 years of Wake Up columnists, because I was going to put together something. I started getting lost in stuff, and so what should have taken, or could have taken a couple hours, I was thinking this might be an end of the year type stuff. There was some pretty cool, like even in the first year, talking to Bobby Dorr, and there's been some pretty cool like conversations where, not every morning show gets to chat, especially now in this day and age when local shows are dropping by
the wayside.
I mean, all over. It was pretty cool. And thanks to everybody that we did get some of our 15 that sent an email, took the time out to say nice words. So thank you to everybody that did that on our 7th anniversary today, right now. 8:06, we'll be talking about food for Lake County and something that's going on today, very cool, involving Jersey Mike's. If you need an excuse to go out and eat,
Jersey.
This would definitely be the day to do it. And Juan Julia making a return
Yay.
to the airwaves.
We love Wayne Julia.
Also news.
Yeah, we'll have these stories coming up in a couple of minutes. Jury selection in a local area murder case. We'll have some of the details there. We'll also take a look at the report of a missing man in the Springfield area. We're going to give the details there. Maybe you can help locate this individual. Also, the Oregon State University women's basketball team returns home before they hit the road again for the Final Four, and what a celebration it was. Just imagine what it will be like when they take the national championship. That's me thinking positive right there. It's all brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, coming up here on KPNW.
Hi, I'm Bill London, Burrito Amigo's biggest fan, and here's a true food story. One day after the wake-up call, one of our staff members walked into the studio, fully admitting she had not visited Burrito Amigos and had ordered a beef breakfast burrito without a tortilla in a bowl. The phrase, "What is this stuff?" in a continuous chorus ensued. The consensus was that whatever was supposed to be in that burrito looked more like something pulled out of a clogged garbage disposal. Now, we could only identify egg. We think. We took pictures. Then another employee pointed out, with Burrito Amigos, when you bite into or open up a burrito, you can actually identify all the ingredients by sight. The Angus beef in the Machaca burrito looks like beef. The bacon is easily identifiable in the bacon burritos, along with the eggs and potatoes and peppers and everything else. Burrito Amigos serves real food that you can identify by sight and enjoy. Food should not be scary. It should be real, like at Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones in Eugene and Springfield.
Get set to save now at your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care tasks with the new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now, during the Get Set to Save sales event, get special introductory pricing of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% APR financing for 36 months. Now through March 31st, 2016, call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. See Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99. Great prices, great products from people you can trust.
ALS is a tough disease to fight. Relentlessly progressive, we have no therapy for it. And virtually everyone who gets the disease ultimately succumbs to it. How do we stop this? How do we break through ALS? The ALS Therapy Alliance has been instrumental in discovery and treatment. The issue is being willing to take risks where we think there's a very high payback. We are a team of fighters. Randy is a fighter. Help us break through ALS. Thank you.
Now, this morning's wake-up call with the latest news from the Northwest and your neighborhood on News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Jury selection has begun for the trial of a suspect who faces the death penalty if convicted in the 2012 death of a man whose dismembered body was found buried off a remote forest road near Eugene. 25-year-old A.J. Scott Nelson's accused of helping David Ray Taylor kill Celestino Gutierrez in 2012. Taylor was convicted in the murder in 2014. He's now on death row. Nelson, who is a military vet, is charged with many of the same crimes Taylor was found guilty of, and he could also be sentenced to death. A judge denied a request from Nelson's attorneys last week to ban the possibility of the death penalty because of an injury their client suffered while serving in the Army in Afghanistan. A man who was 86 from a bar near the U of O pulled a gun on employees there. 23-year-old Forrest Laffner was refused drinks at Taylor's Bar and Grill around 1 a.m. Tuesday morning. He was asked to leave. Laffner refused, so he was removed by bar staff. Once outside, he allegedly pulled a gun and started threatening employees. He then fled and was picked up by police at East 11th and Alder a short time later. Laffner was booked in Lane County Jail on charges of unlawful use of a weapon, reckless endangerment, second-degree disorderly conduct, and 3 counts of menacing. Well, it's that time of year, road repair season, and you can expect slowdowns on Oregon 200. That's North Territorial Road today. Crews are going to be working to fix potholes between Monroe and Cheshire from milepost 1 to milepost 8. ODOT says many of those potholes are right there in the center of the road, so both lanes are going to be affected. You can expect delays of up to 20 minutes throughout the day.
A man with dementia has disappeared from his Springfield home. 68-year-old Pedro Cervantes Barragan left his residence on E Street yesterday and just took a walk. He hasn't been seen since. Cervantes Barragan is described as 5'8", with gray hair and brown eyes. He does not speak English. His family says he was wearing tan pants, a black jacket, and a black hat. The family says besides having dementia, he's also schizophrenic and has diabetes. He has a card in his wallet with his phone number and the family's address. Well, the Oregon State women's basketball team was welcomed back to campus with a big rally yesterday. Brad Ford says their next stop, the Final Four.
Your Oregon State women's basketball team!
After beating Baylor, it's on to play Connecticut in the Final Four. OSU President Ed Ray welcomed the team.
Hey, Beaver Nation, is this terrific or what?
Sidney Weiss says it's an amazing accomplishment in the school's history, but they aren't finished.
There's work to do. There's still a lot of basketball to be played, so we're focused, but we're going to enjoy each moment together.
And Jamie Weisner enjoyed the trophy. She wouldn't let it go.
Yeah, it was in the bed next to me.
The Beavers play top-ranked UConn Sunday at 3 o'clock Pacific time, followed by Syracuse and the Washington Huskies. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
OSU. Ammon Bundy and 3 co-defendants who are jailed in Oregon for the occupation of a national wildlife refuge have appealed an order that requires them to fly to Nevada next month to face charges in the federal case there. Assistant Federal Public Defender Rich Frederico sent notice that the 4 men are appealing to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. A federal judge in Portland last week ordered the defendants to be flown to Nevada on April 13th and returned to Oregon on April 25th. During that window, they would make their first court appearances on charges stemming from a 2014 standoff at Clive and Bundy's ranch near Bunkerville, Nevada. Defense attorneys say the clock shouldn't start on the Nevada case until the Oregon case is finished because it could violate their client's right to effective counsel. Oregon's decision to remove the gray wolf from the state's endangered species list was upheld in state law when Governor Kate Brown signed House Bill 4040 a couple of weeks ago. As of this week, the bill is now being used as a tool in the courtroom to block a lawsuit filed by environmentalists who want to challenge the delisting decision. Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum filed a notice of probable mootness with the state appellate court, saying wolf advocates' request for a review of the delisting decision is likely no longer relevant because of House Bill 4040. That makes it probable mootness. It's exactly what lawmakers intended the bill to do, and while the judge may have the final say, environmentalists say their situation is looking gloomy. A study shows Oregon's new birth control law could be improved in some people's mind. Brad Ford says health experts believe there are still too many hurdles to getting birth control.
The new law is a step forward for contraceptive access, yet Oregon women can only get 2 types from the pharmacist: oral pills and hormonal patches. Dr. Maria Isabel Rodriguez at OHSU says the law could go even further to improve access
to the most effective forms of long-acting birth control, such as intrauterine device or implant.
Rodriguez says there are other methods to add to the list, like Depo-Provera.
That's done kind of throughout other parts of the world, and I think it's something that we should look into here in Oregon.
They hope that by showing the bill is appreciated by women as well as safe and effective, they can work to expand the number of methods. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Presidential candidates crossed the map in Wisconsin yesterday. Their campaign rallies are coming a week before crucial primaries in the state.
I have a plan. I'm not just up here saying, let's bash the bad guys. I want to bash the bad guys as much as anybody else. But after you get done bashing the bad guys, how are you going to give people good jobs with rising incomes? I'm the only candidate who's actually laid out a plan to do just that.
See, why am I running for president? Because I believe I can be a good president, the best of anybody running, and I believe I have the skills to do it.
I don't want to tell the world what I'm going to do because they're watching. Just let me do it, folks. I will do it. You will be so happy. You don't have to know the details, okay? Let me do it.
And the courage, the principle that was demonstrated and is demonstrated every day by Scott Walker, by the men and women of Wisconsin, we need that courage, we need that principle in Washington, D.C., taking on the special interests.
So next Tuesday, let us show Governor Walker that his plans have failed. Let's have the largest voter turnout.
The campaign stops also come as Wisconsin's Republican Governor Scott Walker endorsed Ted Cruz for the nation's top office. Republican presidential candidates are stepping back from a months-old pledge to back their party's White House nominee, whoever that candidate might be.
If the nominee is somebody that I think is really hurting the country and dividing the country, I can't stand behind them.
Ohio Governor John Kasich at Tuesday's CNN town hall. Similar comments were also heard from Donald Trump.
No, we'll see who it is.
Trump saying many Republicans have treated him unfairly. Ted Cruz, meanwhile, says he's unsure whether he would support Trump if he's the nominee, adding that he does not get into the habit of backing candidates who insult his wife. Google's acquired more land to expand its data center campus in the Dalles. Google bought 74 acres from Northwest Aluminum, which operated a smelter along the Columbia River until 2000. The sale price is yet to be recorded with the assessor's office in Wasco County. Google opened its first corporate data center in the Dalles about 10 years ago and has steadily expanded since then. They currently employ just 175 people. A Portland massage therapist arrested earlier this month has been indicted on new charges relating to the sexual abuse of 6 additional women. Benjamin Kalura is now facing multiple charges of second and third degree sexual abuse for alleged incidents that occurred between November of 2012 and this year. His attorney declined to comment Tuesday on the new indictment. Kalura pleaded not guilty last week to charges stemming from a February 20th encounter with a woman who claims he sexually abused her after she received a massage at the River's Edge Hotel and Spa. The alleged victim has filed a $1 million lawsuit against the company that manages the hotel. Since Kalura's March 9th arrest, 6 more women have come forward claiming he sexually abused them. And where are you going to go to find the fastest rising house prices in the U.S.? And the answer is Portland. The S&P Dow Jones released data showing home prices in Portland grew 11.8% year over year as of January of this year. Seattle and San Francisco took the number 2 and 3 spots with a 10.7 and 10.5% increase, respectively. On average, home prices in cities across the country rose about 5.7%. The report shows that the western part of the country had the biggest price gains, the Northeast the weakest. Denver and Dallas round out the top 5. The report also showed the average rent in Portland, get this, rose 13% in the last year. It now costs on average $1,770 a month to rent a flat in Portland. How? It's 8:19. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Oregon women's WNIT experience continues. Final 4 tonight as the Ducks are in Vermillion, South Dakota against the Coyotes. They're doing all this without their All-American Jillian Aline, who's been sidelined with a torn ACL. OSU women, as you heard, trying to get the game plan right for UConn happening Saturday, their own Final Four experience. Oregon's Dylan Brooks, by the way, earned an honorable mention on the AP All-American team, as did OSU's Gary Payton II. Tomorrow, the Oregon baseball team hits Notre Dame in South Bend. The weekend, they'll be at East Lansing to face Michigan State. Not on the trip is pitcher David Peterson, who's out with an undisclosed injury. OSU baseball team is back on track after taking a hiatus mentally. They lost 4 games in a row. Well, they won, finally beating San Diego State 9-6. With international soccer coming to Autzen in the summer, some getting the bug already. For those, we give these scores. The U.S. men's national team back in line for a 2018 World Cup berth. They shut out Guatemala 4-0. Hard to fathom, but the U.S. under-23 team did not qualify for Olympic soccer action. The second time consecutively that's happened. First time in a half century. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW. Brought to you by Max Muscle, the authority in sports nutrition since 1991. Across Franklin from Market of Choice in Eugene. News time, 8:21.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes or you're sending those kids out to the bus stop, make sure you take a coat with you. Temps right now are only a few degrees above freezing in the low 30s to mid 30s out there. Now, I do have some patchy dense fog off and on. Otherwise, mostly clear skies and winds out of the north by northeast at 5 to 10. Now, that fog will burn off by about 11 a.m., leading to mostly sunny skies this afternoon as high pressure looks to continue to dominate across the region. And thanks to that same high pressure and clear skies, well, the highs will be about 8 degrees warmer this afternoon. In the upper 60s to a few low 70s out there. Light winds out of the north at 5 to 10 should keep things very nice. Now, this clear sunny skies look to continue for several days into the weekend, but we're already tracking a major storm system headed this way. The high pressure will start to move away this weekend, and by Sunday night into Monday, the showers and cooler weather will be back across the region. Simply put, make sure you go out and enjoy the next few days. They won't last. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Hurry into SM Gun Shop for March savings. 40 caliber handguns, 10% off. All other guns are $20 off. Reloading powder just in from Hodgdon, IMR, Winchester, and Alliance will stock up now. SM Gun Shop, Lane County's most established gun store on River Road in Eugene.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
the one means no matter what the problem.
From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. So our highly skilled technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
When it comes to windows, doors, and installation, Discount Windows has you covered.
Discount Windows has thousands of premium overstock windows on site and the lowest prices on stock windows, like Ply Gem vinyl windows and patio doors. Discount Windows ensures a quick turnaround on custom orders, too.
We provide professional, affordable installation.
Highway 99 in Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Discount Windows. We do windows,
doors,
and installation
for less.
CCB 180018. Max Muscle Sports Nutrition is more than a nutrition store. Tom here at Max Muscle. If you want to make changes to your overall health, lose weight, build muscle, or if you just want to feel better, stop by, talk to a certified nutritionist. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Who do I wrestle for? I wrestle on my high school team for Jason Garcia, my fiercest competitor during practice and my biggest fan during meets. I wrestle for my parents who practice what they preach. The importance of hard work, commitment, and dedication. I wrestle for the chance to put our little high school right here in Oregon on the map.
Wearing the uniform of your high school comes with a big responsibility. Younger kids look up to you. Your teammates count on you. And the reputation of your high school depends on you. Do you have what it takes to participate in a high school sport?
And I wrestle for the glory that is mine when I do my best. That's who I wrestle for.
This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
The Wake Up Call. Wake Up Call. On 1120. KPNW.
1120 KPNW, 825. What a day, what a day. It is beautiful out there. I could see you going home, getting something to eat at Jersey Mike's, and we'll tell you why. We got from Jersey Mike's, Jim Magaha, and Food for Lane County's Don Marie Woodward. It's a 1-2 combination here because we got something pretty special going on at Jersey Mike's. Jim, I'll go ahead and have you kind of intro what is going on today.
Well, today is our fundraising effort for Food for Lane County. It's the culmination of a month-long effort to raise money. Today we call it the Day of Giving. Every dollar we bring in today goes to fund their program, and so 100% of sales.
100%, not the net.
Everything.
And you don't need a certificate. You don't need everything.
You walk in the door, buy a sandwich, and I'm going to give all the money to Lane County.
Okay, what makes you do that?
It's the culture of Jersey Mike's. If you look on the website, if you speak to people who are franchisees of Jersey Mike's, it's the reason why we chose Jersey Mike's. They are involved in the community. We care about the community we serve, and it's just our way of giving back and saying thanks.
For somebody who's not been there yet, and I have a feeling there'll be some newbies today. Where are you located?
We are at 3003 North Delta Highway, in the front of the Home Depot parking lot next to Starbucks.
Can I ask a question totally off the subject about Jersey Mike's? Okay, my first experience with Jersey Mike was, I'm going to say, I think it was in December, maybe January. It was during the grand opening of the new store over by Oregon State University in Corvallis. And anytime you order a sandwich, as opposed to like a lot of delis or sandwich places, you go in and they have these, you know, the cooler area where they have the sliced salami and the sliced ham, the sliced whatever. And you've got a line of people, and they're slicing stuff by hand for every sandwich. Why? I looked at that and went, okay, if you sliced it an hour in advance, is it going to make that much difference? Why do they do that?
It is product quality. When you are able to slice to order, let's say somebody orders a sandwich that has 2 different types of meat on it. They like turkey more than ham. Then we just were able to, you know, slice a little bit more turkey and put it on there for you.
Does that require you to hire more people? Because it seems like, I mean, it is busy, and you get a long line in there, and you got somebody slicing and everything else. I mean, does that require you to hire more people?
More than you would think, yeah. Because we have somebody prepping. We do onions, lettuce, tomato, fresh sliced every morning. We bake our bread every day. Then just that attention to detail takes 1 or 2 more people.
I wouldn't say this is a personal endorsement, but I enjoyed my sandwich there.
Thank you very
much.
lot. Did you have it Mike's Way?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It was awesome.
It's a traditional East Coast style of finishing a sandwich. It's onions, lettuce, tomato, red wine vinegar, oil, oregano, and salt.
Got to have the red
It's a
wine
zing.
vinegar.
It's a zing.
You were talking about your favorite sandwich. What is
The
it?
original Italian, number 13. 5 different types of meat, cheese, done Mike's Way.
That's what I had.
Best sandwich ever.
And, are we talking like Subway style, where it's like I don't mean Subway, but like the we call them po' boys in New Orleans, but that style where it's
a sub.
Yeah, it is. It's a traditional East Coast style sub. We're not going to say our subs are a certain length because we stretch our bread. We bake our bread every morning. So, but our giant sandwich is about 15 inches long. And it's a meal.
It's more than a meal. It's more than a meal. I thought, I'll get one of those because I was like, okay, this is a big honkin' sandwich.
Yeah.
They really are. And like I said, you know, it's not really an endorsement here or anything other than to say I really enjoyed it. So
thanks. Appreciate that.
And you know, the folks in there, at least the one in Corvallis, they were nice.
Yeah,
Eugene,
it was clean. We don't know about you.
Yeah, we don't know. You know, you're going to have to prove it yourself there on that one.
All right. Come in, I'll make you a sandwich today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too, because I mean, you were talking about how you've been in the restaurant business for so long. What did make, aside from the culture, what did make you go, you know, Jersey Mike's way? Looking to franchise out.
I've done so many different concepts that when you talk to people, talk to your friends, and you want to say where you work, you know, you want to have a sense of pride. And the first time I had a Jersey Mike's sub, I thought, you know what, this would be something I'd be proud of, to put my name on.
There are so few good sandwich places. I mean, sandwich places where you go get a sandwich. And it really does fall under the category of being one of those good places.
It's nice of you to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, hours today. When can people come down and
We open at 10, and we'll be serving all the way till 9 o'clock. Yeah.
How much, I mean, okay, how much potentially do you think you'll be raising for Food for Lane County? Where I'll remind everybody, 100% is going to FFLC.
We should get close to $5,000 today.
Wow. So if you know anybody, let them know about Jersey Mike's at 3003
North Delta Highway.
North Delta Highway. I mean, what do you say, Don Marie?
You know, restaurants operate on such a tight margin anyway, and for somebody to give us 100% of their sales is just mind-blowing. And it's really heartwarming because people in the food industry understand food and what it does to the body, or the lack of food and what it can do to the body. And so places like Jersey Mike's, other restaurants that come and support us are just amazing. They really get that nobody should be hungry.
Did you go to them, to Food for Lane County, or did they come to you?
We chose them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you could have chose anybody.
Yeah, I asked friends and other franchisees, and Food for Lane County kept coming up as a quality organization that would do good with the money.
And it doesn't matter.
Kind
I
of a
feel
nice
like
little kudo.
you have your fundraisers, you've got your things throughout the year, and yet I still hear from people in the community that it's not enough. I mean, that you're never going to have an ample supply where everybody is taken care of.
Sadly, that's true. You know, there are always issues with people. The people we serve change all the time. It's people who are just down on their luck. What we're still seeing right now, even though the economy's getting better, Oregon's unemployment is like 5%, that kind of stuff, we're being told. But on the front lines, we're seeing still a different story. And I think
so
that's
if you mute the news, if you turn the news down, you're not seeing it.
Exactly. Because what we're seeing is people who were living on the edge during the recession were on the edge and teetered off. And they dug really deep holes trying to survive during that time. And their hole is bigger to fill. And so they're still struggling to do that. A lot of people who lost their jobs have found work, but it's part-time work, or they're cobbling together more than one job, trying to make ends meet. And little things like a major car repair or an illness that sends them to the hospital, or unexpected things can just push them over the edge, so they need to come and get a food box for the month. And so we're seeing a lot of that still.
I had somebody ask me at a Stuff the Bus situation what it involved as far as if you are in need and you need food boxes or you need to get some help, what it entails. And sadly, even though I probably qualify, I haven't done that. I don't know how you do that. So how do you do it? How intricate?
It takes a lot of courage to go and ask somebody for help like that, but we make it really easy. So if you are in need of a food box or a supplemental meal, just contact us, go on our website, call us. We'll refer you to the nearest food bank or food pantry.
So driving to Food for Lane County, the location out there in West Eugene, would not be what you would recommend.
We don't distribute food from the warehouse. We send it out to 150 different partner agencies in the community that are serving the population and making sure there's access to food.
What's coming up in a matter of days?
Remember I told you how restaurants are some of our best partners? We have the 26th annual Chef's Night Out happening on Tuesday at the Holt Center. So
Talk about tickets and how people can get in on even getting in early.
Oh, yeah. So I checked the numbers this morning, and we sell 200 early entrance tickets that get you in the door at 5:30 for a little reception, and then at 5:45 you get to go into the venue. So you're there 45 minutes before the general public, and those tickets are $90. And there's only 23 of them left. So if you
23?
Yes, 23 of those 200 tickets were left this morning.
Does this typically sell out?
Yes, it does. And so you can still get general admission tickets as well. They're $75, and they get you in the door at 6:30. And then once you get in, you don't have to spend any more money. You just get to spend the evening going around and sampling a lot of your favorite restaurants. We've got about 50 purveyors that are there this year. They're offering some of the best food you'll ever find. As one person told me, he goes, "It's the best meal you'll eat all year." So
I'll agree with that.
It's amazing what the chefs are coming up with.
Yeah, they don't crimp at all.
No,
Best
they don't.
food
They
event
all
of the
bring
year.
their A game,
Yeah.
and they are all there to show you what can be done with simple ingredients and blow your mind.
And you've been nice enough to give us the last couple of years tickets to give away, and I feel like that's going to be the case this year. So we'll be giving away tickets. Off the email, Don wants to know: do you guys cater if people want to, if they have an event coming up?
Yes, we do. We do individual boxes, which are good for outing events where you take it with you. We also do larger catering boxes that feed 8 to 10 people.
And of course, that is Jersey Mike's. All right, talk about it again, because we got 100% of everything that goes on today is going to Food for Lane County.
Yep, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. tonight. Just come by, buy a sandwich, and we will donate 100% of the profits or 100% of revenue.
How long have you been open out there?
5 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's, that's pretty impressive that you're doing that and being, I would say, anything under 3 years to me is a new business. To do that is,
It is.
During our first 5 days, we raised money for North Eugene High School and Sheldon High School.
So you're doing this on a
we
regular
gave away
basis.
thousands of sandwiches for a donation to the schools.
Wow.
So, and then we're going to do the same next month when we open the store on the 27th.
I was going to ask you, where's the new one going to be?
It's at 766 East 13th, the corner of 13th and Alder. We've chosen Camp Kazim as our charity partner this year, and it's a group of student leaders at the University of Oregon, and they provide a summer camp for kids whose families are battling cancer.
Wow.
Good for you. Thank you for doing that. And continued success.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jersey Mike's today, all day, 100%. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for
kind of a
coming in.
hop, skip, and a jump from the station, too.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
We might have to go there.
Might have to go say hi.
For sandwiches.
All right. Don't forget, if you have any questions about Food for Lane County and Chef's Night Out, check out the website. It is 838 News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. The Dow heading for a new 2016 high, rising 141 points, and the S&P up 15. They're extending a rally that began with Janet Yellen's speech yesterday saying the Fed will be cautious in raising interest rates because of economic risks from overseas. And there's more evidence the economy at home is moving ahead. U.S. companies added 200,000 workers in March, according to payroll processor ADP. The Labor Department is expected to have a similar number on Friday. Boeing is cutting jobs, 4,000 in its commercial airplanes division. A third of those are workers who are taking buyouts. The rest are already vacant or will be left unfilled when workers quit. Boeing is trying to reduce costs amid fierce competition from Airbus. Sales jumped 11% last quarter at Lululemon stores open at least a year. Lululemon gives some of the credit for that to its revamped Pants Wall display, meant to educate consumers on how different fits work for different activities. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
It's Free Ski Friday at Hoodoo Ski Area. Do whatever you need to do to get to Hoodoo this Friday, because for the first time ever, you can ski, ride, or tube for free all day until 4 p.m. And don't forget, next year's season passes are still on sale. Ages 13 to 64 are only $349. This is the lowest price you can get on next year's passes, so lock it in before the season's over. Don't miss Hoodoo's Free Ski Friday, April 1st, only at Hoodoo Ski Area.
Northwest Burger inside the 5th Street Market features burgers so amazing they're an experience all their own. Freshly ground meat and local produce combined with the creativity of local chef Garrett Kirsch makes for a burger experience like no other. You'll get mouth-watering goodness in every single bite. Check out their menu and photos on Facebook. Northwest Burger, located in the 5th Street Market. It's not just a burger, it's an experience.
This is an announcement for all people who want to take a risk-free challenge to whiten their teeth in 5 minutes using clinically proven power swabs. This risk-free challenge is for people whose smile has been yellowed by coffee, tea, or smoking. It's so effective, we challenge you to try it for 5 minutes to see how white your smile could be. If lines are busy, try again. Dial 1-800-867-4098. That's 1-800-867-4098. 1-800-867-4098.
If
If you want to work until you drop, reduce your standard of living in retirement, or lose more of your hard-earned money in the stock market, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to generate a steady, predictable income, I'm talking real wealth and financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. A free report is now available that reveals the money-making secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. It reveals how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your money in the Wall Street casino. To get your free special report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, or you're already out and about, we do have a little bit of patchy dense fog off and on out there. Otherwise, mostly clear skies, and it is chilly. Temps are in the low to mid-30s out there. Light winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. This afternoon, the high pressure will continue to dominate across the region. That means once the fog burns off by about 11 a.m., clear skies and smooth sailing. Temps will be about 8 degrees warmer today, reaching the upper 60s to even a few low 70s out there. Winds will shift north at 5 to 10, but the sunny weather looks to continue throughout most of the week. We are tracking a major storm system, though, set to move in late Sunday night into early next week, bringing the showers and the clouds back, as well as much cooler high temperatures. So right now, go out and enjoy it. It won't last forever. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day full of sunshine.
All right, so here's my pitch for an adjustable base. So you have a mattress, and maybe even you have a new mattress, and you say, well, yeah, my mattress is comfortable. It's nice. It's serviceable. All right. When you add an adjustable base to it, it becomes the super mattress. It's sort of like when you add, lobster to a steak. A steak is awesome, but you add lobster to it, and then the meal just kind of expands to a whole new level. Same thing with an adjustable base in your mattress. When you've got a bad back, or maybe your neck is sore, and you can adjust just a little bit, where you can just kind of raise it under your back just a little, and maybe just a little under the knees, and you get to that perfect point, that sweet spot, and you say, oh, wow, it doesn't hurt anymore. It is awesome. And when you wake up in the morning because of that, and your back doesn't hurt, or your neck doesn't hurt, if you're somebody that suffers from chronic back problems, I'm telling you, the adjustable base is literally the lobster with the surf and turf.
And when you throw in the all-new Tempur-Breeze models that have landed at Sleep Train, they've got enhanced cooling features, which, a couple months, you'll be thinking about that. There's, a technology of the Matri in 2016. Go see the folks that know about it and have to go to school about the mattress in 2016. It's Sleep Train with the Triple Choice Sale ending Sunday in Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, and Salem. And tell them you're like this with the wake-up call.
Local news, local people, Holloway in London, and the wake-up call.
I want you to get up now.
On News Radio 1120, KPNW.
8:44. It wouldn't be a 7th anniversary party without Wine Julia coming in. And lo and behold, she comes bearing gifts. Welcome back, by the way, first off.
Thank you.
And what did you bring? Is this going to be worth money?
Well, yeah, possibly. I mean, we're talking Domaine Merriweather this is their 2001, so you've got a 15-year-old vintage. It's a vintage sparkling wine, which you don't see a lot. A lot of them are non-vintage. So it's got some age on it. It's a beautiful wine. I've had it myself, and you guys will absolutely enjoy it. It's so worth for celebrating your 7th anniversary, so happy anniversary to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
And it's also Domaine Merriweather, the name is going to be going away. So it is something you can hang on to. But for me, I can't hang on to wines.
No, why would you want to?
I know.
Enjoy it.
I don't see the purpose in that.
Is this like hot news here? Is this like hot off the presses, or is this like common knowledge?
Yes, it is hot off the presses. I don't know if, I mean, a lot of people, you guys probably know Lori and Eric Norman. Lori was out at Sweet Cheeks for a long time. She was with Laval for a while. She is one of those people that everything she touches turns to gold, and Domaine Merriweather is going to be one of those places. They're going to be doing a lot of changes. The new winery, a tribute to, well, her husband is Norwegian, and the name of their vineyard that they have behind their house that they bought from King Estate years ago, which was a Pinot Gris vineyard, they called it Viking Vineyard. That's the name of the vineyard. So anyway, the name of their new winery, or old winery, if you will, because it's Domaine Merriweather, is going to be Valhalla. And so there's a lot of meaning behind that name for them, personal, and just it's going to be a fantastic place. Totally transformation from what we know today.
What kind of transformation? I mean, because a lot of people love Domaine Merriweather.
Yeah, so they're going to still be doing sparkling wines. It's not going to be a champagne house like it has been, but they're still going to be doing 3 different types of sparkling wines, which are going to have always been their most popular. So that's not going away. So anybody who loves sparkling wines, they're still going to make incredible and sparkling wines. They're going to have a lot in their still program. Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris. They're going to have a Syrah. Actually, they already have a Syrah that's really good.
See, Syrah is one of those wines that I really, really, really like.
You have got to try their Syrah.
Really?
Yes, it's amazing. You will love it. Yeah.
Okay.
And they brought in, like, right now they've got just, things, they're making changes. This is slowly changing over. Gradually they're going to make the whole change. But right now they've got just some superstar winemakers that are making their wine. So they're kind of just hand selecting them at this time. They don't have one specific winemaker yet. They don't know if they will at this point, if they'll continue to hand select for certain varietals possibly, or however they want to do it. But so it's kind of just at their the way they want to make it at this point, and they're going to make it theirs. It's going to be their story, which is so cool. Domaine Merriweather, Jack Baghdad, he was the founder of Domaine Merriweather back in the 90s, and he had a great story, but now it's time for it to move on to Valhalla, which will be Lori and Eric's story. And it's going to be truly, I really feel in my heart, it's going to be probably one of the finest wineries that we have in our area. They're going to be making incredible wine. And
do you have stock in it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have stock.
I
You
don't.
sound like you're really.
I know. Well, I think Lori is and Eric both are some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. But not just that, they're really good at what they do, and they are passionate. They both love wine, and when you're passionate and you're good at your passion, you can strike gold, and that's exactly what they've done. So,
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
And I don't want to throw you under the bus, but
don't throw me
if I
under the bus.
recall, this is one of the few local winemakers that I've heard you talk about. Is that true? Is that accurate?
One of the few local wineries or wine
winemaker, as far as people that are making wine out there. I mean, a lot of times we're talking, and maybe we're talking destination, and
Yeah.
but you're always talking about ones that are a drive away.
Yeah.
As far as talk about and it's McMinnville or somewhere.
Right. Yeah, I'm so used to traveling all over the state for big media events, and big events usually happen up near Portland, like the Oregon Chardonnay Celebration and the Wine Symposium. All of those happen up north. So of course Willamette Valley gets a lot of attention. I personally, I would like to start focusing a little bit more on our general area. I think that we have a lot of things up and coming that are going to be really recognizable in the near future. I mean, remember last time I was here, I brought you the bottle with the Al La Chouette. I mean, truly, I still think I've gone back and tried that wine. It is one of the best Pinot Noirs I've had in the entire state. So it's like, and that's from here. So I think we are upping our game here, and not just here, but the Umpqua Valley too. I think the Umpqua Valley is a place to not ignore. They are so up and coming at this point. They have such high class wine.
Name one from that region.
Abasella. I mean, Abasella is hands down one of the finest wineries in the state, and makes some of the best wine you will ever try. And especially if you like Spanish varietals, because that's what they focus on. They make Tempranillos and Albariños, and they do it to perfection. I mean, it is really some of the best wine you'll ever try. And I've had both from Spain and from here, and theirs, to me, is just as good, if not better. So.
Well, we're going to have you on, especially as we get closer to, summer, but wine is year-round here, I think. And with the industry, definitely got the microbrew thing going on, but this has become kind of another wine country.
Yeah.
So these local wineries need to get a hold of you and say, hey, come out and talk about us.
I know, and I want to do that for sure. I think that everybody's doing something really great right now. I mean, I know that a lot of people didn't realize that King Estate was not technically in the Willamette Valley. And it was just recently that they actually officially became a part of the Willamette Valley. So like on their wines, I don't know if they were able to put on Willamette Valley or not, but I don't think they were because they weren't officially a part of it. So now they can.
How does one go about... I mean, what did they do? Do they cut part of the state off and sew it back together and they're closer?
A little gerrymandering?
I mean, how does one go about...
There's a lot put into it, but I mean, as long as the soils and the climate and everything, like in the terroir, is similar to what's in the Willamette Valley, then it can be considered the Willamette Valley. If it's very different, it wouldn't be able to be a part of it.
So who makes that determination? Who gets to be the deciding body that says, yep, I think that's Willamette Valley right there?
I think it's the TTB. I mean, I'm not a pro
now,
on it, but...
TTB, I don't know what that is. What is TTB?
Oh, gosh.
What
I would have to look it up and see, because I only know it by its short name because of reading articles on how AVAs become AVAs. But it's federal, so it's at a federal level where they decide these things, yeah.
So what about...
Get out. Are you serious?
I am serious. It's a big process that they have to go through to be able to make an official AVA. Like we've had, like Elkton AVA was one of the newest AVAs that was in the state a couple years ago. That took them a long time to get that, and they had a very, very different environment where they were. That's like where Brandborg is, so it's in between Umpqua and where we are. And they all together, the whole soil, climate, everything was completely different from everything around it.
Does it make a difference just to be able to put on the King Estate's winery label, Willamette Valley? I mean, does it make that much difference?
Yes, huge, yes, because for consumers, they recognize that. And, so they can say, oh, okay, I know Willamette Valley, and this is, I'm talking about consumers outside of Oregon. I mean, of course, everybody here knows. Well, maybe not everybody here knows.
No.
That's kind of a ridiculous thing for me to say, but it's recognizable. So for them, as in a consumer point of view, it's a really good thing to have that on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just...
The Willamette Valley rocks.
Crazy.
It does.
See, we need to talk about, this is the kind of stuff that we need to talk more about, because that right there is, you just look at it and go, where did common sense go? Because, well, of course they're Willamette Valley. I mean, the average person, well, if they're not in the Willamette Valley, well, where the hell are they?
Right.
I mean,
they were sort of
what?
like all this time they were just kind of there, but no one ever knew that. I mean, because no one ever really talked about it. They're a great winery. I mean, we all know that. They put, Oregon on the map.
So are they going to
in
have...
a lot of ways, so.
Are they going to be less or more snobby now that they get to put it on their bottles?
Yeah. That's a good point,
the people
Rob.
behind the counter there.
My lips are sealed.
You have to say
I love everybody here.
That means more snobby.
Yeah, you can't just say Willamette
No, I don't think
Valley.
they could be more snobby.
How
about future events? Anything coming up that people need to know about? What about, in addition to promoting where they can come see you? on your blog?
Well, I mean, there's so many fun things that are going on in the state. It's unbelievable. Like, we are not far from Willamette Valley Vineyards. If people here have not been there recently,
Are they in the Willamette Valley? Do we know?
Yes,
Are they sure?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, 100%.
You're talking about the one up on I-5 outside of Turner.
Yeah.
By Enchanted Forest.
Yes, right. Yep, you've got it. And they have transformed that place into one of the most beautiful wineries in the state.
Because it was such a pit before.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't it?
No,
It was
it
a
wasn't. But it wasn't like it is now. I mean,
Oh.
if you saw before, they just had like this big, huge room where they had events and everything. Well, now that room is actually their tasting room, and they've redone the whole thing. They've got a kitchen that comes out into the tasting room where you can see the chef cook right there. You can do these pairings dinners
Wow.
where you can eat and they pair wine, their wine with the food that the chef's making right there in front of you. They've got a grand piano in there now. I mean, it's completely different. Where it used to be their tasting room is now for wine club members only. I mean, it is absolutely stunning when you walk in there. Indoor fireplace as soon as you walk in, big circular seats around that. So it's definitely a place to go to.
I have a quick question I want to ask. All right, if you're to choose any winery around the state other than King Estates, which we know has a gorgeous view, of a place where you can sit outside, have a glass of wine, and just go, this is gorgeous. Where?
Gosh, there's so many. You're saying in the state or just locally here?
Yeah, here. Well, okay, locally, other than King Estate, which is
Or Sweet Cheeks, because that's kind of the same.
Right, everybody knows those. I mean,
Yeah.
Sarver has a view that's to die for. I mean,
Yeah,
how can
Sarver's
you
pretty
not?
cool.
Yeah, you can see Three Sisters from there on a good day. And it is just, and it's unobstructed. I mean, it's
And there's
absolutely
kids everywhere. It's family friendly.
Yeah, it's totally family friendly. That's one of
Yeah.
the things I love about it. Yeah, but I know you got to go. Yeah.
Well, talk about your blog real quick.
TheRealWineJulia.com. I have a little updating to do on it, but I will be on there writing a little bit more. I've been in the hospital, so I promise it will be updated with a whole bunch of new things because I have done so much recently. I am like exploding with stuff to write about.
So we're celebrating 7 years, but also you getting out of the hospital because you were in there for a while.
I was in for 19 days, yes.
Wow.
I was fighting for my life, and I am so lucky to be here right now. I mean, and right before I went into the hospital, I was at the Oregon Chardonnay celebration, staying at the Allison Inn and Spa, which is like, if you've ever been there, that's one of the most gorgeous hotels and most beautiful hotels in the state. I was staying there and eating like a queen and enjoying life, and the next day I got home and I was hospitalized. So it was like I went from this amazing life to laid up for almost an entire month, and I am
So you need
so
to go
glad
back
to be alive.
to a nice place of pamper, but not that spot. Because there's not a good connotation there.
Oh no, I want to go back because they have one of the best spas in the world. I mean, literally, they were named #1 spa in the world a few years ago. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's a place I do want to go back to.
Well, we're
For
glad
sure.
you're okay.
Thank you.
'Cause
I'm so
you're-
glad to be here, and
you're
happy
part of the
anniversary
family
to you
here.
guys. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it here.
TheRealWineJulia.com. Go there. Great site.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
All right, that's it for us. We got to run. Have a great. Try to enjoy the sunshine if you can't get out there and take a 3-hour lunch. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for the emails.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
The one means no matter what the problem.
from security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric, so their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
It's the grand opening celebration at Brad's Car Tunes in Springfield. Today from 9 till 6. Specials include a JVC Bluetooth head unit for $138. 6-inch JVC speakers for $38 a pair. Get an extra $10 off these items at Brad's new location in Springfield. Grand opening savings at both Brad's Car Tunes today. 7th and Blair and now at 38th and Main in Springfield. Stay tuned.
Ladies, mark your calendars for May 26th. Enjoy an evening of fun, fashion, and friends at the Head to Toe Women's Expo, brought to you by the Corvallis Clinic. Unwind, shop, and learn from a variety of featured boutiques, home goods shops, healthcare centers, and local businesses. Get free health tips and screenings in the Corvallis Clinic Corner. The Head to Toe Women's Expo, May 26th at the OSU Alumni Center. Sponsored by the Laura Gillot Home Team with Keller Williams Mid-Willamette, Samaritan Plastic Surgery Clinic, OSU Alumni Center, and this station.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene.
News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady.
Wisconsin is very important.
Donald Trump back on the campaign trail in Wisconsin.
I can't believe I'm doing this, to be honest with you. I dealt with politicians all my life. The last thing I wanted to do is be a politician. But we also want to make America great again.
A day after all the focus on the battery charge against his campaign manager, all three Republicans backing away from a pledge to back the eventual nominee. Democrat Bernie Sanders also still in Wisconsin, 6 days to the battleground primary there, while Hillary Clinton is holding an event this hour at New York's Apollo Theater. President Obama has just commuted the prison sentences of 61 inmates serving time for drug-related offenses. Most will be released in late July.
More than a third of the inmates were serving life sentences. All of the inmates are serving time for drug possession, intent to sell, or related crimes. Most are nonviolent offenders, although a few were also charged with firearms violations. The commutations bring to 248 the number of inmates whose sentences the president has commuted. The White House says that's more than the past 6 presidents combined.
Fox Radio's John Decker at the White House, where the president is set to meet at this hour with some ex-prisoners he previously released. The Justice Department just announcing that police in Newark, New Jersey will have to have cameras in patrol cars and on their uniforms as part of a settlement stemming from a civil rights review that found a pattern of unconstitutional practices. The Newark department will also have to change its stop and frisk policies. And there's late word that General Motors, for the first time, has been found liable for an accident involving a defective ignition switch. However, a federal jury in Manhattan has declined to award any damages to 2 people injured. GM argued the accident was minor and caused by slippery roads. Wall Street stocks are higher. The Dow's up 95 points. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This is an announcement for all people who want to take a risk-free challenge to whiten their teeth in 5 minutes using clinically proven power swabs. This risk-free challenge is for people whose smile has been yellowed by coffee, tea, or smoking. It's so effective, we challenge you to try it for 5 minutes to see how white your smile could be. If lines are busy, try again. Dial 1-800-663-1510. That's 1-800-663-1510. 1-800-663-1510.
Favorite color? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite?
How about 2 minutes to brush their teeth? Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives and the Ad Council.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Deb Carson.
The Golden State Warriors are just 6 wins away from a new single-season record.
Curry behind the back on Dudley, takes a 3 off the dribble!
Golden State improved to 67-7, 36-0 at home this season. Warriors beat the Wizards 102-94 on the Warriors radio network. The Rockets rallied from 20 down to beat the Cavaliers 106-100. Houston moves a half game ahead of idle Dallas for the final playoff spot in the West. Thunder lost at Detroit 88-82 Pistons. Charlotte won at Philly 100-85, and the Bulls edged the Pacers 98-96, while the Magic just ripped the Nets 139-105. Moving to soccer news, U.S. men stay alive for their World Cup qualifying. They shut out Guatemala 4-0, and Browns quarterback Robert Griffin III will wear number 10 in Cleveland.
And now for a message from Gerber Life Grow Up Plan. Attention parents and grandparents, do you want to help give your child a great financial head start in life? You can. For just pennies a day now, you can give them $10,000 in whole life insurance that doubles to $20,000 at no extra cost during age 18. Later on, regardless to their health or job, your child has the right to buy additional coverage at adult rates, providing total coverage of up to $100,000. The Grow Up Plan also builds cash value you can borrow from. Low childhood rates that lock in for the life of the policy, benefits that double, plus the right to add more. That's security and valuable protection from Gerber Life, a name known and respected for generations. Get started now. Call Gerber Life Grow Up Plan at 800-372-4043. That's 800-372-4043, or visit us at mygrowupplan.com. Remember, it costs you just pennies a day now. For free information or to sign up now, call 800-372-4043. Gerber Life Insurance Company, White Plains, New York 10605. Policy Form Series GPP 12. Policy Form ICC 12 GPP. The Grow Up Insurance policy contains terms which may affect the benefits provided. Please contact us for costs and details of coverage. Interest rates apply to any policy loans.
Gunrunner Arms in Junction City is all about safety, the safe use of firearms, and the safe storage of your firearms. Gunrunner Arms is the Valley's exclusive Liberty Safe dealer. Liberty Safes are American-made in sizes that'll fit under a car seat to near vaults that'll store 50 guns or more and protect them from the hottest fire. This April, stop by Gunrunner Arms for great sale prices, and if you donate 5 cans of food to Junction City Local Aid when you stop by, you'll save an additional 5%. I'm Bill London, and I like Gunrunner Arms because they care about their community and their customers at the intersection of Highway 99 and 36 in Junction City. It's radio you can watch. The Wake Up Call with live video streaming from the Widmer Brothers studio every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9. Go to KPNW.com and click on the Wake Up Call streaming banner. The Wake Up Call and Widmer Brothers, the local guys.
It's 9:06 and time for Rush. Rush Limbaugh on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Great to have you here, my friends. Rush Limbaugh behind the golden EIB microphone. Hump day, middle of the week. Broadcast excellence, all yours. For the next 3 hours, yet another excursion into broadcast excellence. The telephone number, if you want to be on the program, is 800-282-2882, and the email address, lrushbaugh@eibnet.com. I must begin the program today with an announcement of sorts. I know that a major story in the media today is, I don't know what we call it, Lewandowski Gate, Grab Gate, whatever it is, the ongoing and still blossoming controversy involving the videotape of the reporter at Michelle Fields, the Trump campaign coordinator, Corey Lewandowski, and the Trumpster himself, and what the heck happened. And my friends, I have decided that going forward, I cannot share with you my opinion on this story. And so going forward, I will not opine. I will simply tell you what the latest is, but I will not tell you what I think about it. I am taking the equivalent of the EIB network's Fifth Amendment here, because no matter what I say, I am convinced people cannot listen anymore. And no matter what I say, it is going to be misconstrued into one of two things. Either I'm defending Lewandowski, or I am trying to destroy Trump in order to help Ted Cruz. And I have done neither. Said neither. Yesterday, all I did on this program was to review for people who may not have been able to see the video because it was happening while the program was on the air. Just telling people what had happened. And I commented on how much time CNN was spending on this. And I talked about how they were stacking guests. And all of that became Limbaugh defends Lewandowski. Limbaugh sells out conservatism. Limbaugh traitorous to the cause. Limbaugh supports reprobate a-hole. Limbaugh, whatever. And since I didn't do any of that, what? I didn't do any of that. I don't even know Lewandowski. What I know is everybody apparently hates the guy. What I know is everybody wants to try to destroy the Trump campaign that is not part of the Trump campaign. I know that includes many people in the media. They will take the occasion of any event that pops up to try to destroy and bring down the Trump campaign, which is politics, and it's fine. But I have determined here that because tensions are so tight Everybody is wound up to such a feverish pitch here that no matter what I say, it is misunderstood and is not helpful. And so on this story going forward, I have no opinion. We have the latest in sound bites. We have the latest in the news on it. I'm even reluctant to just tell you what the latest is because of how that's going to be misinterpreted. And this may not be the only subject about which I may have to muzzle my own self here and silence myself, at least from the standpoint of opinions. Because it's apparently impossible to be correctly, properly understood. So that's that. We have news items out the wazoo today. The program is loaded with this stuff on the Democrat side. There's stuff that has nothing to do with the campaigns. New York Daily News has a story that they've this is kind of funny, finally figured out that the Democrat campaign's rigged. New York Daily News. If Bernie Sanders wins the New York Democrat primary, superdelegates are going to back Hillary anyway. The opening line in the story, maybe the system really is rigged. You think? The whole thing, the Democrat primary, has been rigged from the get-go. It's been rigged since the Democrat campaign of 2008 ended. You can go back to the archives of this very program and you can find me assuring everybody that no matter what, Bernie Sanders was not going to be the nominee of the Democrat Party. And nothing has changed. Ruth Marcus, Washington Post. I'm just going to run through some of these things headline-wise, and I'm going to do my best to get into all of these today. Why a no indictment of Hillary Clinton would still be a problem for America. Ruth Marcus, Washington Post. She's upset that if there's no indictment, the FBI, this Comey guy, he had better clear her. He had better call a press conference, and he had better tell everybody that they never had a single shred of evidence. If the FBI allows this to go on and on and on, and if there's no indictment and they don't do anything, and allow people just to assume that Hillary is guilty, but that the Democrats are not going to pull a trigger because of partisanship, that's a disservice. So if there's nothing there, Comey needs to come forth and say so. From a publication calling itself Orb magazine, as the Clinton campaign falters, tension erupts between Bill's crew and Huma's crew over who has final say. North Carolina has become ground zero in the latest iteration of the culture war, and it's absolutely absurd. We have a conservative governor in Georgia, Nathan Deal, who literally caved to the threat of economic pressure brought about by American corporate interests. Same kind of thing is happening in North Carolina, where special considerations for 0.5% of the population seem to be dominating the structuring passage of laws today. And it's all about lesbians and gays and bisexuals and transgenders and who wants to use what bathroom on a particular day of the week or at a particular time of day, and nobody's got the right to tell somebody who thinks they're a woman on Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon that they can't use the women's bathroom. And the NBA says if you're going to tell somebody who thinks they're a woman at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, who got up as a man, by the way, but at 2 o'clock on Tuesday thinks she's a woman, you're going to tell her she can't use the women's restroom, we're pulling the All-Star game out of Charlotte. Fine. Meanwhile, have you heard about Saudi Arabia? You haven't heard of the Saudi royal family wants to begin summary executions of all gays, lesbians, and transgenders as a means of shutting it down. How many American corporations do business with Saudi Arabia, starting with big oil, starting with big Silicon Valley, starting with big defense contractor? Tell me, how many of them do business with Saudi Arabia and would never once threaten the royal family? Let's just see what happens. It's all over the news. You're looking at me like you haven't heard about this. I don't care what Corey Lewandowski thinks about this. I am not opining on it. Has Lewandowski spoken about what's going on in Saudi Arabia anyway? I don't care, even if he has. You can't suck me into this, Snerdley. I have announced the self-imposed ban on myself on this, and there's no trick that anybody can employ. But seriously, Saudi Arabia, the Saudi royal family, which, by the way, the Saudi royal family are the official guardians of Islam, Mecca. And, folks, they are openly saying execute all known and discovered gays, lesbians, transgenders, bisexuals, as a means of shutting it down. They are the head honchos, if you will, of Islam. They are the guardians of the sacred mosques in Mecca. How many American politicians, how many worldwide politicians, particularly on the left Democrat Party, will refuse to tolerate any criticism of Islam? We cannot associate Islam with terrorism. No. Islam is the religion of peace. Here in the headquarters, summary execution of gays, lesbians. And how many American corporations will pull out? How many will condemn it? How many will tell the Saudis, you better not do that, or else? Like they will tell the governor of Georgia, like they will tell the legislature of North Carolina. A story at thehill.com. What do you think of this? Majority of Republicans support path to citizenship. This is a poll from an outfit called the Public Religion Research Institute, the PRRI. Have you ever heard of them? The PRRI are a notoriously left-wing group that has ongoing research partnerships with the Brookings Institution and the Berkeley Center for Religion, Peace, and World Affairs at Georgetown University, and they have just released a poll saying that a majority of Republicans now support amnesty, now support a path to citizenship. We'll see how that manifests itself. A Nevada candidate for public office says that Dingy Harry told him to quit and not even go for it because he's a Muslim. And, quote, a Muslim cannot win this race, unquote. Dingy Harry, a former Senate majority leader who in the Democrat Party and on the American left can do no wrong, is telling a guy, don't run, you're a Muslim, you can't win. By the way, what would you think if Trump chose Newt as his vice presidential nominee?
America's most listened to talk radio host. Rush Limbaugh. On the EIB network.
You may really hate doing your taxes, but one thing is certain. You don't want identity thieves doing them for you. All identity thieves need to file a fake tax return is your social security number and your date of birth. It's that easy. As a result, nearly $6 billion in fraudulent tax refunds get paid out in a single year due to identity theft. Now, some people count on free credit monitoring for identity theft protection, but free credit monitoring won't do anything to help fix an identity theft problem. But LifeLock will. If you're a victim of identity theft, LifeLock's U.S.-based team of specialists will work to resolve your case, and you'll get peace of mind now and all year long. Memberships start just $9.99 a month plus applicable tax. Call 1-800-440-4833 or visit lifelock.com now and use promo code RUSH. That's RUSH to save 10% on your membership. LifeLock, 800-440-4833.
Hi, I'm Kyle Cox, founder and owner of Blindster.com. At Blindster.com, we offer custom-made blinds, handcrafted and delivered to your door in about 2 weeks, oftentimes at a lower price than blinds sold at home improvement warehouses. Available in a wide variety of styles and colors, our blinds are expertly crafted exactly to your specifications, and we guarantee your blinds will fit or will replace them for free, even if you make a mistake when measuring or ordering. At Blindster, we are passionate about both the quality of our products and the satisfaction of our customers. Most of our products are backed by a limited lifetime warranty. And if you need help, our team of friendly and knowledgeable window covering experts is ready to assist you every step of the way. Please give us a chance to earn your business.
Visit Blindster.com today and check out our new faux wood plantation shutters. And for a limited time only, all Rush listeners will receive 30% off any order. Just enter code RUSH at checkout. Blindster.com. That's BLINDSTER.com. Blindster.com.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. That includes lots of people to help with your taxes, insurance, or those pesky legal issues. You'll find places to fix your computer, store your stuff, or remodel your kitchen. You can even find a technician to fix your plumbing, or a doctor to, well, fix your plumbing. From brainy professionals to brawny contractors, find the help you need along West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go West, help seekers. Go West.
Northwest Burger inside the 5th Street Market features burgers so amazing they're an experience all their own. Freshly ground meat and local produce combined with the creativity of local chef Garrett Kirsch makes for a burger experience like no other. You'll get mouth-watering goodness in every single bite. Check out their menu and photos on Facebook. Northwest Burger, located in the 5th Street Market. It's not just a burger, it's an experience.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you're self-employed and have not yet claimed your free trial of the money-saving software from QuickBooks Self-Employed, it's not too late. Our mission is to get this automatic mileage tracking and deduction maximizing software into the hands of every self-employed person in America as quickly as possible. That's why we're giving away these absolutely free trials. To get yours, text TRIAL10 to 67076.
It automatically tracks my trips and records my deductions so I can keep more of the money I make.
It's awesome. It gives me back my freedom, really.
QuickBooks Self-Employed is designed to help self-employed Americans keep more money in their pocket. And it's working. On average, subscribers identify $18,217 in potential annual deductions. And it's so easy, anyone can use it. If you haven't claimed your free trial yet, it's not too late. Text TRIAL10 to 67076. But hurry while we're still giving trials away for free. Again, text TRIAL10 to 67076. That's TRIAL10 to 67076.
Rush Limbaugh now. Lars Larson today at noon. Only on 1120 KPNW.
You hear that story recently? Maybe you saw the headline, "No, you can't carry a loaded weapon into the Republican National Convention." Did you see that story? I did, and I know a number of you did. From thehill.com, it turns out that the guy who authored a petition to allow open carry of guns at the Republican National Convention did it, says he did it, to test the limits of the party's support for the Second Amendment. The petition, which has attracted national attention, reads as if it was written by a supporter of gun rights. Instead, the guy behind the petition is a Democrat who plans on supporting Hillary. His name is Jim. He's from Philadelphia. He reached out to thehill.com in a phone interview, said he published the petition to call attention to what he sees as a discrepancy in the Republicans' position on gun rights. So here you have a guy. The way this works, the story's out there that somebody wants an open carry permit for the Republican National Convention. Everybody goes, no, that's crazy. Turns out it's a Democrat playing a trick. After the impact of the news, after the impact of the story has been felt, then we learn the truth of it. Sorry, cannot play audio soundbite number 20. I just received a new audio soundbite here. New movie trailer shows illegal aliens being gunned down while audio of Trump is playing. I cannot play this audio soundbite. It's part of my Fifth Amendment, EIB Fifth Amendment ban on uttering any opinions about the Trump campaign. People don't hear what I say. They misunderstand. So the safest thing to do is to not say anything about it. Well, I'll tell you what it is. I mean, it's a guy. What we have here, a Spanish language ad made to look like a movie trailer, was released for, it's a new movie actually called Desierto. And it juxtaposes audio from a speech by Trump with scenes of Mexican immigrants being gunned down while crossing into the U.S. They actually made a movie out of this, and they've taken a section of it as a trailer. They put Trump's voice talking about immigration and a number of other things over Mexicans being shot at the border. But I can't tell you what I think of that. Well, I could, but I refuse to. You just have to stick with the fact that it is It is out there. Yesterday, the Washington Post had a story, a column, by Michael Gerson, the former speechwriter for George W. Bush, essentially claiming that I am destroying conservatism. That my quote-unquote blessing of the Trump campaign, my blessing of Donald Trump, is killing conservatism. I didn't bother commenting on it because it was silly, and I guess I could. I think I saved it here somewhere. But anyway, this was brought up last night on the Fox Business Network. Charlie Payne, his show called Making Money, he had Tammy Bruce, who herself is a talk radio host, a Fox News contributor, and he asks her about this. He says, look, Washington Post story, Rush Limbaugh's blessing of Trump is killing conservatism. He's one of the few well-known conservative radio guys who is neutral. He obviously likes Ted Cruz. He said some nice things about Trump. He doesn't condemn the Trump campaign. What about it, Tammy? Is Limbaugh killing conservatism?
Well, look, I've been agnostic as well. We understand for many Trump supporters, this is about an existential issue for the country, that if the country doesn't exist as we know it, then what good is conservatism? And if conservatism is so weak and has been so undefended, why would just Donald Trump be the one to destroy it all?
So her basic point is that conservatism is going to survive no matter what. But when you start throwing in blame like this, I mean, this argument about who's responsible for Trump, the very people responsible for it are those trying to shift that responsibility in the form of blame to others. But again, that's off limits here on the EIB network. I do have something, however, that I want to share with you. There was a town hall meeting in Wisconsin last night on CNN, and there was some news that was made out of this thing. All three Republican presidential candidates have now backed away from the pledge they all made to support the eventual nominee. None of the three remaining Republican candidates would guarantee last night that they would support the eventual nominee for president, departing from previous promises to do so, and injecting new turmoil into an already tumultuous contest. Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich were each given a chance during a CNN town hall in Milwaukee to definitively state that they would support the nominee, and all three declined to renew their pledge. That was just as recently as March 3rd in a Fox News debate that all three said they would support the nominee. Most of the drive-by media are only reporting that Trump is refusing to promise support for the nominee, but all three of them have basically backed away from their pledge. This was always going to be the case. You know, when these pledges first started flying, I thought, the only guy, I'm sorry, I can't say that. I just thought when all of this started happening that none of this was going to hold up. Start making promises like this way back last fall, whatever the first debate was, August 6th, I think, August 3rd or August 6th. And that's when Bret Baier asked all these guys in the first Fox News debate, Trump, sorry, I can't say it. They all took the pledge. And I'm watching this. This is not going to hold up. We're too soon into this. There's too much tumult yet to come. There are too many feelings yet to be hurt. There's too many people waiting to be offended or going to be offended or angered or what have you. And it was almost when Baier asked the question, the responses were practically instantaneous and automatic, which made them formulaic. But look, there's something interesting here. We had the town hall meeting, and I have two different stories about the town hall meeting, and they are completely different takes on what happened last night. One of them is at Breitbart, and the other one is by Daniel Horowitz at the Conservative Review. An entire, well, not entirely, but I mean largely different interpretations and points of interest cited by both publications as to what happened last night. We'll come back and review this right after this.
From the KPNW News Center, here's what's going on. Jury selection has begun for the trial of a man who faces the death penalty if convicted in the 2012 death of a man whose dismembered body was found buried off a remote forest road near Eugene. A.J. Scott Nelson is accused of helping kill Celestino Gutierrez in 2012. A judge denied a request from Nelson's attorneys last week to ban the possibility of the death penalty. A Salem area substitute teacher could be fired for refusing to pass out a survey at a middle school asking students to name the school's bullies. Don Fessler told the front office at Judson Middle School he wouldn't hand out the survey. Judson Middle School principal Alicia Kruska says the survey started 12 years ago as a way to address bullying and its surrounding issues. And a judge has approved a bid by Albertsons to take over the remaining Hagen grocery stores, including 2 in Bend, bringing Hagen's bankruptcy proceedings essentially to a close. Albertsons will pay $106 million for 29 stores in Washington and Oregon. Bill London, KPNW.
If you need to sell your home, listen up. Lars here to tell you about a real estate agent right in Lane County that takes the stress out of selling a home. I'm talking about Jeremy Parmenter of Keller Williams Realty. Jeremy has a marketing system for selling homes on a whole different level than anyone you're going to talk to in Lane County. Jeremy works with the top real estate developer in Oregon, and week after week, Jeremy attracts hundreds of buyers, which creates demand and helps your home sell fast and for top dollar. That's why Jeremy offers a home sale guarantee. If Jeremy can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agreed to, he'll buy it. Plus, it's risk-free. If he isn't doing his job after one day, you can fire him. But don't worry, you won't, because he outsells the average agent 8 to 1. If I needed to sell my home and lived in Lane County, I'd call up Jeremy. Call Jeremy today at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. And start packing.
When you need painting, you want the best. Fitzpatrick Painting. Don't settle for less.
Specializing in house repaints, interior and exterior, and commercial buildings, Fitzpatrick Painting also provides a full line of carpentry services and so much more. Experience the difference. Find them at fitzpatrickpainting.com for your free estimate and more information.
Fitzpatrick Painting. Unsurpassed in customer service and quality.
Investments in securities involves the risk of loss. The following is a far too common tale of investing in annuities. A successful couple invested a large portion of their savings in annuities, thinking they were a safe way to guarantee a dependable income stream no matter what the market did. But it didn't take long for them to regret their decision. They were locked into low returns, faced potential tax consequences, and that they couldn't get out of their annuities without paying huge penalties. They were stuck, and so was their money. Suddenly, their retirement hopes and dreams were in danger. But it didn't have to happen to them, and it doesn't have to happen to you. You can avoid the annuity trap. Here's one way. Get the free report, Annuity Insights, your guide to better understanding annuities, by calling 1-800-375-4441. Written by Forbes columnist and money manager Ken Fisher's firm. This powerful report could help save you from major financial heartache, and it's offered today for free. If you have an annuity or are considering one, claim your free annuities guide today. Hurry, free copies are limited. Call now, 1-800-375-4441. 1-800-375-4441.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Depend on us. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Most of my brain tied behind my back today just to make it fair. Rush Limbaugh, 800-282-2882. Great to have you with us. Okay, the town hall meeting last night, Breitbart News. The headline, crowd boos when Donald Trump mentions Scott Walker and Paul Ryan in Janesville, Wisconsin, which is Ryan's hometown. Donald Trump knocked Scott Walker, who endorsed Cruz earlier in the day, and the crowd booed when Trump mentioned Scott Walker's name. Trump says total state debt, $45 billion, very high, one of the higher ones, 20,000 fewer people in the labor force than 7 years ago. Even though the population has grown, Trump stated as he read aloud statistics about Wisconsin. Trump, he said that he was not sure if the stats were accurate, but he went on to say, Walker not doing a very good job, and the audience cheers. The audience booed Scott Walker, the governor, and Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, in his hometown, Janesville, Wisconsin. Trump was mocking Walker. He doesn't look like a motorcycle guy to me. Walker rides bikes. Trump said unemployment rate, they're down 20%. That can't be possible. 800,000 food stamp recipients, middle class hit very, very hard due to loss of manufacturing jobs. Goes on to talk about how many jobs lost to Mexico since NAFTA. He said that both, I'm just doing a juxtaposition. Hang on just a second for a different take on this. Trump goes on to rip both of them, Walker and Ryan, because they support the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Obama's massive Pacific Rim trade deal that he says will make NAFTA look like a baby. And Breitbart reports that the audience loved it all, ate it up, cheered Trump left and right, and just booed Walker and booed Paul Ryan. And Breitbart concludes, hey, this is a great night for Trump. It was a kick night for Trump because these guys, he was able to personify them as members of the establishment, what he's running against, and the audience ate it up. It's also noted in the Breitbart story that Dave Weigel of the Washington Post noted that at least 4,000 people were in line to get into the venue to hear Trump speak, but only held about 1,000 people. So now this was actually a Trump rally, not the town hall meeting. But here he is. Let me move over here now to Daniel Horowitz at the Conservative Review.com. And the headline is Trump running to make socialism great again. This is campaign season's come full circle. The closing argument of the GOP frontrunner Donald Trump, the man who has garnered so much support under the guise of being an anti-establishment candidate, has now exhibited the palest of pale pastel characteristics of the very establishment that voters hate. So Horowitz claims that Trump is exactly what he's running against. He is the guy he's campaigning against. That he's every bit the establishment type of person as the people he's criticizing. That he thinks just like the establishment people. And Horowitz then says one of the more insightful questions asked at last night's town hall in Milwaukee was directed at Trump by a woman who wanted to know the top 3 functions of government. Trump initially answered security, security, security. But then, Mr. Horowitz writes, Trump struggled to name any other core functions. He couldn't think of any. But then he could. And then Trump settled on health care and education as 2 of 3 top functions of government. Health care and education. Mr. Horowitz writes, this is a man running for president who, if he wins the nomination, will debate Hillary Clinton in the fall over the fundamental role of government. It appears there won't be much of a debate because there won't be much of a difference between Trump or Hillary. Speaking like a typical establishment Republican who is too diffident in his own views to correctly define the role of government and how it helps the average person, Trump continued to defend federally controlled health care. And then a transcript of questioning from Anderson Cooper to Trump is published here. The indication here is that Trump doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to policy. He doesn't know anything. He's just, it's not that he's dumb, he's just ignorant. He hasn't studied it, doesn't really care about it. And so when he doesn't know, he relies on his instincts. And his instincts, according to Horowitz at the Conservative Review, take him right to massive big government running everything. And in this, we should all be worried. Everybody should be frightened. because Trump is not who he claims to be. An example, Anderson Cooper says to Trump, so in terms of the federal government role, you're saying security, but you also say health care and education should be provided by the federal government. Trump, well, yeah, those are two of the things, sure. I mean, there are obviously many things. Housing, providing great neighborhoods. Horowitz writes, yeah, for good measure, Trump tosses in housing. Free housing, great neighborhoods, Bernie Sanders all the way. When Anderson Cooper questioned him further about his support for these traditionally Democrat views, Trump explained that, of course, the states should control education. Mr. Horowitz writes, thereby contradicting himself again within 10 seconds. And the column, the story is pretty much devoted to this theme, that Trump gets tripped up when asked specific questions that it is assumed anybody running for president would be able to rattle off. Give me 3 primary functions of government. If you stutter around and can't come up with any, then you don't know anything. And then when you think about it, and because you're stuck here, then you come up with 3 things and end up sounding exactly like Hillary Clinton on it. Well, government's got to provide housing, government's got to provide health care, government's got to provide education. It is therefore concluded that Trump, not only is he not a conservative, he may as well be a Democrat, masquerading as somebody who is not. So those are the 2 juxtapositions here and there are many more than that. But these are 2 juxtapositions of what happened last night. We have the Breitbart piece where Trump was a hero, and he went in there and he just jammed Walker and he jammed Ryan, and his audience ate it up. And Trump was on message and the crowd loved it, and he was really riffing great on anti-establishment. Go over here to conservativereview.com and you get a report on Trump as basically an incompetent, unaware, know-nothing who was exposed into exhibiting the undeniable fact that he is a liberal at heart. I don't know what I think about that. I'm just telling you what happened.
Doing the work that the mainstream American media just won't do. Rush on the EIB network.
I have a question for you. Who is the fastest growing tractor brand in America? If you guessed Mahindra tractors, my good friends, you are absolutely right. Mahindra also has an amazing 97% customer satisfaction rating. No wonder they are the world's #1 selling tractor. That's why I feel comfortable recommending Mahindra tractors to you. I am confident that you will join the 97% of satisfied Mahindra owners. Now, don't forget, Mahindra still offers 0 interest for 84 months and a rock-solid 5-year powertrain warranty. I mean, what's not to love? If you want to work smarter, not harder, on the land that you love, learn more at MahindraUSA.com.
Take advantage of rock-bottom prices and test drive a Mahindra today at All Seasons Equipment in Eugene, or visit allseasonsequipment.net. That's allseasonsequipment.net.
SquareTrade does not cover lost or stolen items. Savings based on 2-year iPhone plan with 1 claim compared to history and total equipment coverage as of August 10, 2015.
Getting a new iPhone, Galaxy, or other smartphone? Get this. Every 2 seconds, one of us accidentally breaks our phone. So protecting your new smartphone is a smart idea. But instead of getting phone insurance through your wireless carrier, here's a new way to save hundreds of dollars. I'm Steve Abernethy, and I founded SquareTrade to give you a better choice. Insurance from your wireless carrier can cost you as much as $11 a month, plus up to a $199 deductible when you break your phone. SquareTrade phone protection is less than $5 a month with a much lower deductible. We can save you over $240. Drops, spills, accidents, malfunctions, we cover it. That's why we have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and are trusted by over 18 million customers. So protect your new phone with SquareTrade and start saving today.
Protect your new phone with SquareTrade and you can save over $240. Go to squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
Get set to save now at your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care tasks with the new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now, during the Get Set to Save sales event, get special introductory pricing of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% APR financing for 36 months. Now through March 31st, 2016. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. See Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99. Great prices, great products from people you can trust.
My kids couldn't go outside and play. They couldn't go to the park. It just was a very bad situation.
It was brutal. It was a scary place to be.
I had always wanted to own my own home. I just didn't know how. Once we moved into this house, my children flourished.
Because of this house, I'm a better person.
Happiness, peace, stability are all the words that come to mind when I think of our home.
You can change the lives of families in your community and around the world. Join us. Habitat. We build.
Depend on us for Rush Now and Glenn Beck this afternoon at 3 here on 1120 KPNW.
And we're going to get to the phones here.